Chapter 477. The Bronze Immortal Palace had disappeared. Jun Xiaoyao, Long Outyin, and Wang Tung, who were inside, disappeared as well. Almost all the geniuses in the immortal ancient world saw this scene. It's really over. The Bronze Immortal Palace has disappeared. The son of God of the Jun family has fallen. Dead. The three people who entered the Bronze Immortal Palace are all dead. Long Outyin and Wang Tung being dead is one thing, but the son of God of the Jun family had the chance to become an emperor. Even he has fallen. Many geniuses sighed. Jun Xiaoyao has really fallen? On a mountain peak, Ji Qingyi's hair danced in the wind. Her limpid eyes looked at the place where the Bronze Immortal Palace had disappeared. She was lost in thought. Was Jun Xiaoyao, the man who had been invincible among his peers ever since he was born, really dead? Ji Changkong shook his head and said, I told you. As one of the 7 incredible worlds, the Bronze Immortal Palace is extremely dangerous. Anyone who enters it will definitely die. Ji Changkong looked calm, but he heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. The mountain that had been pressing down on them had finally disappeared. On the other side, the ancient freak of the Yi family, Yi Nantian, also muttered to himself, it's a pity that a genius who had the chance to prove his Tao has fallen. However, it gives the others a chance to breathe. Did something really happen to little brother Xiaoyao? Xiao Maxian and the others were still in disbelief. After all, Jun Xiaoyao had created too many miracles. No one dared to say that Jun Xiaoyao was dead until the very end. That's right. The Bronze Immortal Palace has only disappeared. It doesn't mean that Brother Xiaoyao has fallen. Lord Grimm comforted. That's right. We believe in the young master. Jun Xiaohuang and the others were also excited. Jiang Xingyi and the others calmed down a little when they heard this. At this time, the immortal ancient world continued to tremble. Patterns began to appear in the sky. Those were the laws of the immortal ancient world. They began to reject the living beings from the outside world. The immortal ancient world was about to close again. After a few days, light began to surge around the geniuses, and the space around them began to ripple like water. Their figures were instantly teleported out of the immortal ancient world. Compared to the number of geniuses who entered the immortal ancient world, the number of geniuses who came out had obviously decreased by more than half. Just the immortal ancient world alone was already so intense. It was hard to imagine how cruel the Emperor Road would be when the time came. After all the geniuses had been teleported out, the entrance to the immortal ancient world closed completely. The immortal ancient world and the Bronze Immortal Palace had completely disappeared. After all the geniuses came out, they went to find their respective forces. When they returned to their respective forces and heard the news that Jun Xiaoyao's life tablet had shattered, they were all shocked. What? The life tablet of the Jun family son of God is really broken? Doesn't that mean that he has really fallen? I didn't expect it to be true. I thought that the son of God of the Jun family had the ability to come out. What a pity. Some heaven's favorites shook their heads, feeling that it was a pity. There were also some who were mocking and ridiculing in their hearts. As expected, Jun Xiaoyao is a human, not a god. How could he survive in the Bronze Immortal Palace where even supremes could die? He was arrogant and reckless. In the end, he lost his life. These people only dared to mock in their hearts. They did not dare to say it out loud. After all, the Jun family had not left yet. What? After Jiang Xingyi learned that Jun Xiaoyao's life tablet had shattered, she could not stand still. Jiang Luoli and the other girls' hearts also trembled. Suddenly, they blacked out and almost fainted. If it was before, they still believed that Jun Xiaoyao could survive. But now, the fact that his life tablet had shattered was an indisputable fact. Jun Wanjie, Jun Xiaohuang, Jun Zhanjian, and the other sequences all had red eyes. They could not believe it. Yu, Yin, Qingying, and the other followers could not accept it either. Even Princess Longji realized that she was not as relaxed and happy as she thought she would be. Instead, he had mixed feelings about it. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao's death had a much greater impact than the death of Wang Tung and Long Outyin. He was a young king who was qualified to dominate the Emperor Road. Some of the sequences of the Jun family did not believe it. They even asked Jun Zhantian and the other elders. They were all silent and did not say a word. This time, the result was confirmed. Those who were related to Jun Xiaoyao could not accept it. Jun Xiaoyao's enemies, on the other hand, were secretly gloating. The Jun family. Wang Yuanba glanced coldly at the Jun family. Although Jun Xiaoyao was dead, the pain of losing his son would not be appeased. Wang Yuanba could not take it lying down. In addition, the powerhouses of Zulong, Wanhuang Spirit Mountain, Qilin Ancient Cave, Fallen God Palace, and the Sacred Sect were also unhappy. Almost all the geniuses under their command were killed by Jun Xiaoyao. The powerhouses of these forces looked at each other and saw the hatred for the Jun family in each other's eyes. Jun Xiaoyao's death was not enough to appease this hatred. Vaguely, a storm that could sweep across the entire Huangtian mystic realm was brewing. The immortal ancient world was completely over. However, the waves had just been stirred up. The news of Jun Xiaoyao's massacre in the immortal ancient world shocked everyone. In addition, the commotion that Jun Xiaoyao caused in the eternal burial ground finally spread to the Huangtian mystic realm. He killed the 10 minor kings of the burial ground and killed the ancient tyrant body Chu Tianba. Many buried emperors of the burial ground died indirectly because of Jun Xiaoyao. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao directly sealed the burial ground again. Each and every one of these incidents was enough to shake the entire immortal realm. In the end, they were all caused by Jun Xiaoyao alone. This was simply too shocking, making one's eyeballs pop out. I originally thought that it would be good if the son of God of the Jun family didn't die in the burial ground. In the end, he did so many things. Sai, such a genius, ended up dying in the Bronze Immortal Palace. It's regrettable. After hearing so much shocking news, Jun Xiaoyao's death was undoubtedly even more shocking. No matter how talented you were, as long as you didn't fully mature, there was a risk of dying. Jun Xiaoyao's death could be said to have shaken the entire Huangtian mystic realm. However, the Jun family didn't say anything about this and maintained a rare silence. Many people thought that the Jun family was really hurt this time. Some people even thought that this might be the starting point of the Jun family's decline. With Jun Xiaoyao's death, in contrast, the rise of other geniuses. For example, there were rumors that a descendant of an ancient emperor in the Wanhuang Spirit Mountain seemed to be about to awaken. The Archean royalty, the ancient crocodile lake, and the descendants of the crocodile ancestor were about to awaken. There were also rumors that Zulong and the Wanhuang Spirit Mountain seemed to have worked together to create a genius with the dragon phoenix body and wanted to dominate the emperor's road. The reincarnation of the sword demon of the Yi family also seemed to be showing signs of coming out of seclusion. Some people of the Yi family said that the reincarnation of the sword demon seemed to have cut off his past and reconstructed his true self. His talent was unimaginable. He was a real great emperor, not just a figure of speech. In addition, there was also the ancient freak Jade Buddha of the Little Western Paradise who had the legendary Bodhi Buddha heart. As soon as he was born, he subdued the first daughter of the Mahamayuri's lineage. All in all, the emperor's road was about to open. Geniuses from all walks of life rose like stars. The son of God of the Jun family, who was originally like a bright sun, fell sadly. This made many people sigh. In troubled times, heroes rose and fell. Ta was like a knife cutting down geniuses. Even someone as dazzling as Jun Xiaoyao would eventually be forgotten by others one day. Chapter 478. In the blink of an eye, it had been a year since the immortal ancient world was closed. In the past year, the Huangtian mystic realm had undergone great changes. The spiritual qi between heaven and earth had suddenly become denser. All the blessed enclaves and paradises were revealed. Many old people who were stuck at a bottleneck suddenly realized that they had broken through unknowingly. The changes were shocking at first, but they soon realized what was going on. The spiritual qi has awakened. The Emperor Road is about to open, an elder of a major force exclaimed. In the past, there were always two signs before the Emperor Road opened. One was the opening of the immortal ancient world. The other was the spiritual qi of heaven and earth had awakened. Of course, the spiritual chi awakening was not a qualitative change, but a quantitative one. It was not very useful for those who were already at the top of their cultivation. However, it was very helpful for those who were below the 9 heaven supremes. It was even more helpful for the young geniuses who were full of vitality and potential. Some people said that it was a kind of reciprocation from the will of the 9 heavens mystic realm. It was to improve the strength of the younger generation so that they could compete for the heavenly will on the Emperor Road and protect the immortal realm. Under the background of the spiritual chi awakening, the strength of the younger generation of geniuses began to skyrocket. The ancient freaks who were sleeping in various corners of the immortal realm also sensed the changes and woke up one after another. In an instant, the entire Huangtian mystic realm was filled with dazzling stars. Many geniuses streaked across the sky like comets. In the past, the heaven god realm was considered the absolute top of the younger generation. However, under such circumstances, many geniuses with a strong foundation began to break through to the heaven god realm. There were even a few geniuses who began to break through to the Tao god realm. Most of these geniuses were ancient freaks who had awakened, or the descendants of ancient experts who had extremely powerful bloodlines. Some old people even speculated that under such circumstances, there might be geniuses of the pre-saint level appearing in a year or so. Many people thought of Jun Xiaoyao because of this. With Jun Xiaoyao's monstrous talent, if he did not die in the Bronze Immortal Palace, under such circumstances, it was almost certain that he would break through to the pre-saint level. In the past year, the Jun family had been keeping a low profile. There was no news about them. Many people believed that Jun Xiaoyao's death would cause the Jun family to be depressed for a long time. As for Lord Grimm, Jun Lingsong, and the other geniuses, they were also working hard on their cultivation. All of them had made great progress in their cultivation. I believe that Master will not fall. Yu, Yin Qingying, and the other followers still firmly believe that Jun Xiaoyao would return one day. Surprisingly, Princess Longji didn't return to Zulong after the immortal ancient world closed. Instead, she followed Jun Mulan and the others to the Jun family. This made many people very surprised. On second thought, Princess Longji had already fallen out with Long Outyin in the immortal ancient world. If he were to return to Zulong, he would feel somewhat uncomfortable. Zulong's Tsang dragon also wanted Princess Longji to go back, but she refused. Princess Longji meant that although Jun Xiaoyao had died, her promise would not change. Otherwise, her Tao heart would be damaged. However, only Jun Mulan and a few others knew about this. Jun Xiaoyao and Princess Longji's promise was only limited to the immortal ancient world. Therefore, no one could guess what Princess Longji was thinking. Time gradually passed. At a certain moment, all the cultivators in the Huangtian immortal realm seemed to have heard a terrifying explosion, as if the sky had exploded. At that moment, all the cultivators raised their heads and looked at the sky of the immortal realm. The same thing happened not only in the Huangtian immortal realm, but also in the other 8 immortal realms. Then, under everyone's astonished gaze, a vast ancient road seemed to have materialized from the void, extending all the way to the depths of the universe. It was an extremely ancient path. It was a path filled with geniuses' blood. It was also a path that would leave a mark in history. The Emperor Road had opened. Boom! In the next moment, the 9 heavens immortal realm was in an uproar. On the Huangtian immortal realm side, countless geniuses rose into the sky from various regions like carps crossing the river. Each of the geniuses' aura was very powerful, far more powerful than before the revival of spiritual chi. Many ancient warships, flying ancient beasts, and mystical mounts all rose into the sky, carrying the geniuses toward the Emperor Road. Everyone in the world had the dream of proving their Tao. Their blood was boiling, and they wanted to make a name for themselves on the Emperor Road. They wanted to leave their names in history and be praised through the ages. Some people saw the descendants of ancient families that had been hidden from the world for many years appear. Descendants with the bloodline of ancient races appeared. There were even descendants of Archean ferocious beasts that broke out of their eggs. Their ferocious aura shook the world. Every single one of them had a shocking background. Of course, some famous immortal forces in the Huangtian immortal realm also sent their descendants, wanting to expand their territory on the Emperor Road. Some people saw a young figure in the depths of the Wanhuang Spirit Mountain, riding a fire phoenix. It's an ancient freak from the Wanhuang Spirit Mountain. I heard that he's a descendant of an ancient emperor. Over at the ancient crocodile lake, an astonishing ferocious aura rose into the sky. A pitch-black crocodile rose from the ancient lake, and with a swing of its tail, a mountain range collapsed. It's the descendant of the crocodile ancestor, some of the ancient races exclaimed. On the peak of a mountain, a beautiful woman in a sapphire blue peacock dress looked up at the Emperor Road with a glimmer of hope in her eyes. As long as I follow Master Arhut, I won't have to worry about not reaching the end of the Emperor Road, the woman murmured, and a smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. She was the genius who had been subdued by the ancient freak of the Little Western Paradise, Jade Arhut. She was the first daughter of Mahamayuri, and her bloodline was noble and powerful. Other than that, in the Yi family of the clan of the ancients, on top of a lone peak that was thousands of feet high, dressed in black, the handsome reincarnation of the Yi family's sword demon, Yi Guchen, slowly stood up. His aura was incomparably deep, and his eyes were no longer as ancient as before. Instead, they were extremely clear. Yi Guchen had completely cut off his past and reconstructed his true self. Compared to before, he had undergone a shocking transformation. His aura was unfathomable, and even a saint would feel weak just by looking at him. It's time. Yi Guchen raised his head and looked at the Emperor Road in the sky. He raised his hand and suddenly pulled out the Emperor Slayer that was stabbed into the ground at an angle. That sword had been stained with Emperor blood. Boom! The moment Yi Guchen pulled out the Emperor Slayer, a terrifying aura erupted. A terrifying sword chi that could shake the stars in the sky swept across the sky. At this moment, the Yi family was alarmed. Many of the elders in the family were outside Yi Guchen's seclusion area to check on him. Even the ancient freak of the Yi family who had awakened in the immortal ancient world, Yi Nantian, was shocked. As expected of the reincarnation of the sword demon, although he has cut off his past, his talent and cultivation have become even more unfathomable. He's comparable to Jun Xiaoyao from before. Yi Nantian was shocked. As an ancient freak, facing Yi Guchen made him feel like he was meeting his senior. That sword intent sent chills down one's spine. Yi Guchen's fingers gently caressed the Emperor's Slayer, and the sword chime shook the 9 heavens. Old friend, I thought you would have met a good opponent. What a pity. Yi Guchen shook his head slightly. The person he was referring to was naturally Jun Xiaoyao. They had agreed to meet again, but in the end, it was difficult for them to meet again. Yi Guchen, use this sword to seek defeat. I hope that the Emperor Road will not disappoint me. Yi Guchen carried the Emperor's Slayer on his back and stepped into the sky. The reincarnation of the Yi family's sword demon, who had been in seclusion for a long time, had finally set off. The entire book. Chapter 479. Previously, some busybodies had selected the 4 most popular geniuses in the Huangtian mystic realm. The son of God of the Jun family, the young emperor of the Wang family, the first Zulong, the reincarnation of the sword demon of the Yi family. In the blink of an eye, only Yi Guchen was left among the 4 most popular geniuses. Needless to say, it was a pity. Just when Yi Guchen came out of seclusion, everyone was shocked. In Hong State, where Zulong was stationed, there was also a shocking aura erupting from the depths of the mountains. Many of the far ancient races nearby sensed the terrifying aura and couldn't help but cast their gazes over. A figure rose into the sky like a flaming meteor. What was shocking was that there was a shadow of an ancestral dragon and a divine phoenix circling around the figure. Set off by the ancestral dragon and the true phoenix, the figure was like the emperor of dragons and phoenixes, exuding a terrifying aura. The pressure of the realm that was faintly emitted had reached the great completion of the Tao God stage, and was only a step away from being a sage-to-be. Gosh, such a powerful realm. Is that the dragon phoenix body created by Zulong and the Wanhuang Spirit Mountain? Rumor has it that this dragon phoenix body has refined the complete blood of the ancestral dragon and the divine phoenix. Its potential is limitless, and its talent is definitely not weaker than the son of God of the June family. Just as many people were communicating with each other through divine consciousness from all directions. The young figure wrapped in the shadow of the dragon phoenix said indifferently, Long Outhian has become a thing of the past. Princess Longji is willing to be a mount. She is also a disgrace to Zulong. Feng Tiange and Feng Luofei are also useless. That ancient freak, Huang Jiuyin, is barely acceptable. The reason Jun Xiaoyao could be famous in the past was because the dragon phoenix, was not born. This figure was the dragon phoenix body, the dragon phoenix. The dragon phoenix stepped into the sky, and a dragon and phoenix appeared under its feet, carrying its body across the sky, leaving behind countless shocked gazes. It could be said that with Yi Guqin, the dragon phoenix, and other top geniuses coming out of seclusion, countless geniuses from all over the Huangtian mystic realm began to head towards the Imperial Road. In the Jiang family of Qingzhou, on top of a cliff, a peerless beauty in snow-white clothes stood against the wind. She was like the faint glow of a new moon, like a jade tree piled with snow. The gentle breeze ruffled the snow-white hair on her temples, dazzling her picturesque face. It was Jiang Xingyi. However, unlike before, Jiang Xingyi's black hair had turned into a head of snow-white hair. That was because after learning that Jun Xiaoyao's life tablet had shattered, Jiang Xingyi's black hair had turned white overnight. Like black silk in the morning, snow in the evening. Jiang Xingyi's head of black hair was as white as snow, adding a touch of poignant beauty to her flawless face. Jiang Luoli appeared behind her. The only thing that remained unchanged was his height of 5 meters. What changed was that slightly haggard and delicate face. Jiang Luoli had also suffered greatly in the past year. She had become haggard because of her husband. Sister Xingyi, the Imperial Road has opened. The clan elders have asked us to set off, Jiang Luoli said. Jiang Xingyi was silent. After a long time, she suddenly opened her mouth and said, I like being carefree. Jiang Luoli was slightly stunned. She didn't expect Jiang Xingyi to suddenly choose this time to confess. Jiang Luoli also showed a touch of bitterness and said, Sister Xingyi, no matter how stupid Luoli is, she shouldn't be so slow. She had guessed what she should have guessed. Many things didn't need to be said out loud. Luoli, I'm sorry, Jiang Xingyi murmured. The wind blew, blowing her snow-white hair. It was a poignant beauty. Seeing Jiang Xingyi like this, what else could Jiang Luoli say? She smiled bitterly and said, What's the use of saying this now? Let's wait for Brother Xiaoyao to come back. Luoli believes that Brother Xiaoyao will never die. Yes, I also believe that Xiaoyao won't die. So, I'm going to the Imperial Road to become stronger. I can't be a burden to Xiaoyao. Jiang Xingyi's eyes were resolute. As a Khanate Taoist embryo, she had been greatly improved during the spiritual Qi revival. Now, her cultivation was also in the Tao God realm. She was not too far away from the sage-to-be. Looking at Jiang Xingyi, Jiang Luoli's big eyes also had a touch of sadness. Compared to her, who was mischievous, unambitious, and useless, short legs. Jun Xiaoyao would prefer a gentle, understanding, and big sister like Jiang Xingyi who would support and encourage him from behind. I really can't accept this. Jiang Luoli clenched her fists. For the first time, determination appeared in her big eyes. Jiang Luoli also wanted to work hard to become stronger. She believed that there would be spring for her short legs too. The Jiang family's geniuses also stepped onto the Imperial Road. The Jun family's Master Grimm, Jun Lingsong, and the other sequences also stepped onto the Imperial Road. Yu, Yin Qingying, and the others also set off. Princess Longji, who had been staying in the Jun family, also set off. Jun Xiaoyao, will your name be heard in the Imperial Road again? Princess Longji murmured. She actually didn't quite believe that Jun Xiaoyao would die. How could a man as calculating as that put himself to death? There were many people who thought the same as Princess Longji. Many people thought that if Jun Xiaoyao really died, the Jun family's reaction would be too cold. Many people were looking forward to the day when they might hear Jun Xiaoyao's name resound in the starry sky again. Time continued to pass. Almost a year had passed. Many geniuses had begun to make a name for themselves on the Imperial Road. As for Jun Xiaoyao's name, people gradually stopped mentioning him. However, some observant people also noticed. If Jun Xiaoyao was still alive, he should be 18 years old now. Just the right age for his coming-of-age ceremony. Sigh, if Jun Xiaoyao didn't enter the Bronze Immortal Palace, he might have become a quasi-saint by now. An 18-year-old quasi-saint. Just thinking about it is scary. Yeah, walking on the Imperial Road as a quasi-saint. Even if he can't sweep the Imperial Road, he will definitely be a big shot. What's the point of talking about this now? But I heard that the Jun family seems to have the intention of holding a coming-of-age ceremony for Jun Xiaoyao. What? Really? He's dead, and they want to hold a coming-of-age ceremony? As the news spread, many cultivators in the Huangtian mystic realm were shocked. Was the Jun family possessed? Why would they hold a coming-of-age ceremony for a fallen genius? Then, another shocking piece of news was revealed. Some people said that the treasure vault of the demon sect of reincarnation seemed to have appeared. At this moment, many people understood that the Jun family had been hiding something behind the scenes. On the surface, they used Jun Xiaoyao's coming-of-age ceremony as a cover to attract the attention of many forces in the mystic realm. In private, they were thinking of ways to monopolize the treasure vault of the demon sect of reincarnation. After all, the demon sect of reincarnation was an immortal force. The treasure vault left behind by them was naturally priceless. Not to mention, there were rumors that the imperial weapon of the demon sect of reincarnation, the 6 Paths of Reincarnation disc, was hidden in the treasure vault. Even the wealthy Jun family couldn't turn a blind eye to the treasure vault of the demon sect of reincarnation. As for why people thought that the Jun family had the ability to obtain the treasure vault of the demon sect of reincarnation, it was because the successor of the demon sect of reincarnation, Wang Chuan, was still in the Jun family. Only he could find the correct location of the treasure vault of the demon sect of reincarnation, open the door, and obtain the resources inside. This was obviously not what the Archean royalty and other hostile forces wanted to see. Chapter 480. In a secret place in the Zulong district of Hong Province, numerous figures with powerful auras gathered at this place. What do you think about this? A big shot in the Zulong district asked. What else can we do? The Jun family is scheming, an elder from the Wanwang Spirit Mountain said coldly. Jun Xiaoyao has been dead for 2 years. Are they trying to fool a 3-year-old by holding a coming-of-age ceremony at this time? They must be thinking about how to monopolize the treasury of the demon sect of reincarnation, an elder from the ancient Crocodile Lake said. The purple Qilin cave master of the ancient Qilin cave, who was also the Qilin son's father, said coldly, the Jun family's resources are already deep enough. We can't let them get their hands on the treasury of the devil sect of reincarnation. Otherwise, no other immortal force in the Huangtian mystic realm would be able to stop the Jun family. The Zillion Cave Lord hated the Jun family to the core since the Qilin son was killed by Junling Song. The massacre in the immortal ancient world 2 years ago was the fuse that ignited his hatred. Now that the treasury of the demon sect of reincarnation had appeared, the Archean royalty's desire to kill the Jun family had been ignited. The treasury of an immortal force was extremely valuable. If the Jun family got their hands on it, they would be like a tiger that had grown wings. How could the Archean royalty and other forces survive if that happened? That's right. The Jun family is powerful enough. If they get the treasury of an immortal force and the imperial weapon, the 6 Paths of Reincarnation disc, the Jun family will be even more fearless, the big shot in the Zulong district said. Then you mean? The elder from the Wanwang Spirit Mountain hesitated. Immortal War, the big shot in the Zulong district said. Immortal War, the Zillion Cave Lord said coldly. That's right. We need to teach the June family a lesson. Even if we can't completely uproot the June family, we should at least make them suffer, the elder from the ancient crocodile lake said. All right then. The immortal battle is our last resort. What we need to do is to prevent the June family from obtaining the treasury of the demon sect of Samsara. That's right. Perhaps we can contact other forces. The Archean royalty isn't the only one who has a grudge against the June family. Zillion Cave Lord said, to be targeted by so many immortal forces. Even if the June family is exterminated, it's enough to be passed down for generations to come. The bigwigs of the far ancient imperial family all sneered, as if they could already see the complete destruction of the June family. This time, they were very confident. This was because it wasn't just one immortal power that was targeting the June family. In the past, the undying battles were between two undying powers. This time, however, it was an unequal battle. The news of this secret meeting did not spread. However, the atmosphere in the entire Huangtian mystic realm was a bit strange. Many people could vaguely feel that an apocalyptic storm was about to form in the sky above the Huangtian mystic realm. If the other forces had this premonition, it was impossible for the June family not to know. However, the entire June family was very calm. It was as if they were sitting on a fishing platform, completely ignoring the storm. As time passed, June Xiaoyao's coming-of-age ceremony was about to begin. When the time came, the June family would still invite forces from all over the Huangtian mystic realm to attend the ceremony. This was destined to be the strangest coming-of-age ceremony, because the main character was June Xiaoyao, who was thought to have died 2 years ago. Just as the entire Huangtian mystic realm was discussing this matter, in the middle of a void space, a majestic and ancient bronze palace floated in the sky between the stars. It was like a small boat drifting with the waves in the vast universe. In the bronze palace, June Xiaoyao, who was completely submerged in the qi of all creation, had completely recovered his physical body. Every inch of skin and every inch of bone was perfect. It was as if the most perfect proportions were created by the hands of God. June Xiaoyao originally had the appearance of a banished immortal. After the reconstruction, he was even more perfect. It was as if he was the perfect incarnation of God. This young man is so handsome. I can't help but look at him. The charming female voice was heard again in the bronze palace. UB*TCH, you've never taken your eyes off that kid for the past 2 years. An old blind man said angrily. I'm not as blind as you. Why don't you take the opportunity to look at a handsome man to your heart's content? The charming female voice chuckled. Ah, you don't say. This kid actually absorbed all the immortal ancient spirit, the parrot said. As expected of Master's fated person, he can even recover from this. A cripple's voice was heard. 2 years was just a snap of the fingers for people like them. During this time, they had also been observing June Xiaoyao. It had to be said that June Xiaoyao was shocking. His physical body was repeatedly crushed by the qi of all creation. Not only did it not completely collapse, but it was completely reconstructed. His entire body was filled with immortal light, and mysterious Tao runes covered his body. It was as if the qi of all creation was a pair of skillful hands that had reconstructed June Xiaoyao's body with the most perfect Tao and Tao. As a result, every inch of June Xiaoyao's physical body became impeccably perfect, harmonizing with the Great Path. Not only that, June Xiaoyao's primordial spirit was also protected by the incomplete ancient talisman, preserving a trace of vitality. In these 2 years, June Xiaoyao's primordial spirit had also completely refined and absorbed the immortal ancient spirit. One had to know that the immortal ancient spirit was the will of the immortal ancient world. The vast soul power fluctuations it possessed were indescribable. Even a supreme being would have to be careful when refining it. June Xiaoyao, on the other hand, had absorbed all of it within 2 years. June Xiaoyao's primordial spirit had already recovered to its original state. Not only that, there were 3 Tao flowers in June Xiaoyao's primordial spirit. They represented the past, present, and future. The current primordial spirit had already been reconstructed. As for the primordial spirit of the past, it was only a prototype. As the immortal ancient spirit was completely devoured and refined, the primordial spirit of the past was finally completely formed. On the Tao flower, the primordial spirit of the past sat cross-legged like a miniature version of Jun Xiaoyao. Its entire body was filled with the aura of time. Sometimes, a long river would wrap around the primordial spirit of the past, adding a sense of mystery to it. An old blind man smacked his lips and said, "This kid's primordial spirit of the past has been formed. He must be about to wake up." He specialized in the Tao of souls and was considered the most professional among the few of them. This kid is really a monster. 3 primordial spirits, sacred body of the ancients, bones of supremacy, various powerful techniques, and this bronze cauldron that can carry the chi of all creation. Even the successor of an immortal force can't be this monstrous. The parrot felt a little incredulous. Otherwise, how could he be Master's fated person? It's normal for him to have such talent and strength, a cripple said. At that moment, Jun Xiaoyao, who was sleeping in the chi of all creation cauldron, felt his eyelids twitch slightly. After sleeping for 2 years, the 18-year-old Jun Xiaoyao finally opened his eyes slowly. In an instant, an incomparably terrifying aura poured out from his body. That power was not of the Tao divinity realm, nor was it of sage-to-be, but a sage. An 18-year-old sage. Chapter 481. The moment Jun Xiaoyao opened his eyes, a terrifying saint-level aura swept out. It was hard to imagine that Jun Xiaoyao was only 18 years old. An 18-year-old saint-level cultivator? Everyone would think it was a joke. It had to be known that even the grand elders of some first-rate factions were only saint-level cultivators. In other words, Jun Xiaoyao's current strength was already catching up to the experts of the older generation. It could even be said that Jun Xiaoyao was the youngest saint-level cultivator in history. Even Jun Xiaoyao himself was a bit dazed. His mind was a bit muddled. After all, Jun Xiaoyao had been slumbering in the void for 2 years. It was impossible for him to immediately wake up. It took a while for Jun Xiaoyao to gradually recall what had happened before. Entering the immortal palace, killing Wang Tong, Long Outyin, stepping into the killing formation, and being drowned by the myriad origin chi. Jun Xiaoyao slowly raised his hand and examined himself. His body was snow-white and flawless. It was like the most beautiful jade, and it was surrounded by immortal light. Any woman who saw it would be jealous. More importantly, Jun Xiaoyao's body was emitting a refreshing fragrance. At the same time, countless runes shone around him as if they were resonating with him. This was a body that had been tempered by the myriad origin chi. It had almost reached the pinnacle of perfection. I become Tripitaka's meat. Jun Xiaoyao was a bit speechless. This meat smelled so good that even he wanted to take a bite out of it. Right now, even a drop of his blood or a piece of his flesh was probably a priceless treasure. If a mortal refined it, they would immediately become a monstrous body refining genius. Perhaps in the future, I really can become a martial emperor with my physical body, muttered Jun Xiaoyao. The so-called martial emperor with his physical body meant that his cultivation base had yet to reach the level of a martial emperor, but his physical body was already comparable to a martial emperor's body. Even a true martial emperor would find it very difficult to destroy someone with a martial emperor's physical body. Under a martial emperor with a martial emperor's physical body was almost invincible. No one could destroy their body. Of course, it was extremely difficult for one's physical body to reach the martial monarch realm. Since ancient times, there had only been a few. Even with Jun Xiaoyao's previous aptitude, it would be difficult for him to reach the martial emperor realm physically. But now, after being remolded by the myriad chi, Jun Xiaoyao had the hope of becoming an emperor physically. The benefits that the myriad chi brought to Jun Xiaoyao were not limited to this. Jun Xiaoyao instinctively activated his physical body, and a streak of immortal chi coiled around his body like a dragon. But then, a second strand of immortal chi appeared. This strand of immortal chi was dark yellow in color. It was as heavy as the earth, and carried a profound aura of the origin of all things. strands of celestial energy descended, bringing with them the mysterious energy of all living things. It was as if mountains, rivers, seas, grass, trees, insects, and fish were manifested. At the same time, its weight caused the void to distort as if it could crush thousands of miles of mountains and rivers. After 2 years of tempering by the myriad qi, Jun Xiaoyao had unknowingly condensed the second strand of divine qi. The immortal energy was condensed from the origin energy of all things. Jun Xiaoyao had already condensed 2 strands of immortal qi before he even entered the Emperor Road. This was definitely unprecedented. Even for the Sky Prides who had been in the Emperor Road for a long time, it was extremely difficult to condense 1 strand of immortal qi. They would need all kinds of great opportunities. 2 strands of immortal qi was a level that most Sky Prides in the Emperor Road could never achieve in their lifetime. Not bad. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. Condensing the second strand of immortal qi was a pleasant surprise. Jun Xiaoyao continued to examine his physical body. He also found that the 100,000 elemental elephant granules in his body had unknowingly transformed into 100,000 divine elephant granules. The strength of the hell-crushing divine elephant had been fully mastered. Now, Jun Xiaoyao could enhance the strength of 100,000 divine elephants with every move, which was far more than the divine strength he had before. At the same time, Jun Xiaoyao could also manifest the true form of the divine elephant. It was a real primordial divine elephant that could suppress the 9 heavens and 10 earths. With one move, it could collapse thousands of miles of mountains and rivers. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao's physical body had been tempered by the qi of all creation and had reached the peak. Then, Jun Xiaoyao noticed that his primordial spirit of 3 lives and the past primordial spirit had been formed. Jun Xiaoyao was also surprised to find that his primordial spirit was much stronger than before. Now, Jun Xiaoyao's primordial spirit could crush Jun Xiaoyao's past primordial spirit without any pressure. How can this be? Even if the past primordial spirit has been formed, the power of my primordial spirit can't have increased so much. Jun Xiaoyao found it unbelievable. His consciousness had been in a deep slumber before, so naturally, he couldn't have noticed that he had absorbed the immortal ancient spirit. Then, Jun Xiaoyao noticed his cultivation level. Sage Realm. Jun Xiaoyao wasn't surprised by this. He had been soaked in the qi of all creation for so long, and his physical body had been reforged. It was impossible that his cultivation level hadn't increased at all. It was just that rising from the Tao God realm to the Sage realm was indeed a little exaggerated. However, for Jun Xiaoyao, who was a monstrous talent, this was the most normal thing. There was just one thing that made Jun Xiaoyao feel strange. He didn't transcend the Sage tribulation. Logically speaking, when breaking through to the Sage realm, there would be a Sage tribulation. If one passed it, they would perfectly step into the Sage realm. If they failed, they would die. This was a life and death tribulation. Jun Xiaoyao didn't understand this matter, so he decided not to think about it for the time being. In the end, his gaze fell on the incomplete ancient talisman and the bronze cauldron. If not for this ancient talisman protecting my primordial spirit, I'm afraid I would be in danger. Jun Xiaoyao put away the ancient talisman. He had already made up his mind that if possible in the future, he would definitely find the other half of the ancient talisman. This was a guardian imperial weapon. Supreme weapon, myriad qi cauldron. Jun Xiaoyao looked at his rewards. This myriad qi cauldron was incomparably heavy. It had 3 legs and 2 handles, and its surface was engraved with all living beings: mountains, rivers, seas, sun, moon, stars, grass, trees, insects, and fish. Wisps of myriad qi rolled endlessly from the cauldron. Logically speaking, the myriad qi was very heavy. A wisp of it could crush thousands of miles of mountains and rivers. Ordinary supreme weapons couldn't withstand this power. However, the myriad qi cauldron was the top supreme weapon. Most importantly, it had the potential to continue to grow. If it's just a supreme weapon, it's obviously impossible to reach the 8-star level. With the potential of the myriad qi cauldron, If I collect the myriad chi origin root and other immortal metals, it's not impossible to become an emperor weapon or even an immortal weapon, let alone a quasi-emperor weapon. Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. The reason why the myriad chi cauldron was an 8-star reward was not because of its current grade, but because of its future potential. Quasi-emperor weapon, emperor weapon, and then immortal weapon. The myriad chi cauldron had the potential to become a supreme, immortal weapon. After 2 years of absorption, part of the myriad chi in the bronze immortal palace was absorbed by Jun Xiaoyao's body. The other part was sucked into the myriad chi cauldron. Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand and summoned the myriad chi cauldron. That heavy pressure was so heavy that even Jun Xiaoyao's hand felt slightly heavy. There's no need for any fancy tricks. With this cauldron, even a sage's body would explode. Jun Xiaoyao sighed. Smashing people with the cauldron was much more satisfying than smashing people with boxing gloves. At this moment, the system's voice sounded in Jun Xiaoyao's mind again. Ding! New check-in location has been refreshed. Please check in at Emperor Road. Oh, how long has it been? Even Emperor Road has been opened. Jun Xiaoyao was slightly surprised. He wasn't too sure how long he had been sleeping. At this moment, all the myriad chi in the bronze immortal palace had been absorbed by Jun Xiaoyao's body and the myriad chi cauldron. The killing formation had lost the myriad chi and was no longer operating. It had been silent for a long time. An inexplicable look flashed in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. Then he suddenly looked at the void and cupped his fist slightly. Seniors, thank you for your care during this period. Chapter 482. As Jun Xiaoyao finished speaking, the entire bronze immortal palace remained silent. The corner of Jun Xiaoyao's lips curled slightly. Before his consciousness sank into the darkness, he had vaguely sensed a few faint fluctuations. Although they were well hidden, they could not escape Jun Xiaoyao's keen perception. Obviously, there were other people in the bronze immortal palace besides him, and those people must have a great connection with the bronze immortal palace. After a long time, an old voice sounded. So we've been discovered long ago. As the old voice sounded, 4 figures suddenly emerged from the void of the bronze immortal palace. Jun Xiaoyao glanced over. The 4 figures consisted of 2 old men, a beautiful woman, and a parrot. The 2 old men were dressed in tattered robes. One of the old men had his eyes closed, as if he was blind. The other old man was leaning on a crutch, and one of his legs was twisted in a strange posture. He was obviously disabled. As for the delicate and beautiful woman, she was born with a face as beautiful as jade and snow-white skin. She was dressed in a bright red palace cheongsam, which wrapped around the voluptuous body of Linglong. Her breasts were proud, her waist was slender, and her buttocks were plump. It looked like a plump and juicy peach, giving off a mature and charming aura. There was only one parrot left. It had mixed feathers all over its body and 3 strands of a hogue on its head. It looked like an ordinary parrot. In Jun Xiaoyao's perception, the 3 people and the parrot did not seem to have any terrifying aura. They were like the common people in the secular world. But Jun Xiaoyao was not stupid. He knew that those who could stay in the bronze immortal palace for a long time and were related to the bronze immortal palace could not be simple. Jun Xiaoyao of the Jun family greets the 4 seniors. Jun Xiaoyao cupped his fists slightly and said indifferently. When he reported his name, he revealed his background and identity of the Jun family. Jun Xiaoyao believed that there was no way those people would do anything to harm him after knowing who he was. So you are the genius of the Jun family. No wonder. A cripple looked at Jun Xiaoyao in surprise. It was obvious that even people like them had heard of the Jun family's name. Their eyes were filled with solemnity. They had guessed that with Jun Xiaoyao's talent, he was definitely the successor of an immortal force. But they did not expect Jun Xiaoyao to have such a powerful background. With the strength of the Jun family, even people like them had to be careful and not underestimate them. An old blind man said, "Little child of the Jun family, you are not afraid of us." Anyone who saw them in such a strange and mysterious place like the bronze immortal palace would be nervous, fearful, or even afraid. Jun Xiaoyao on the other hand, was very calm, without a trace of nervousness. Jun Xiaoyao chuckled and said, "If all of you wanted to do me harm, I wouldn't be standing here talking to all of you right now. TSK, TSK, you are indeed the fated one of the master. Your temperament." A cripple sighed. Hearing this, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed with a trace of darkness. The fated one of the master? Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself, but he was very wise and did not take the initiative to ask. Aya, an 18-year-old saint. Since ancient times, there has never been such an existence. Little brother is really awesome. The beautiful woman praised, her eyes glowing with green light. She looked at Jun Xiaoyao with a very hungry gaze. Even Jun Xiaoyao trembled slightly and felt a little pain in his kidneys. This woman always gave him a very dangerous feeling. Little brother, your body has been rebuilt. How do you feel? The beautiful woman took a step forward. In the next moment, she appeared in front of Jun Xiaoyao. This move made Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flash with a strange light. This beautiful woman was definitely a terrifying expert above the supreme being level. An old blind man, a cripple, and the parrot were probably at the same level. To think that such a top-notch expert actually had a master. How powerful was that master? Just as Jun Xiaoyao was deep in thought, the beautiful woman suddenly extended her tender hand and caressed Jun Xiaoyao's body, moving her hands up and down. Senior. Even Jun Xiaoyao was stunned and did not know what was going on. Little brother, your body has been rebuilt. There may be some hidden dangers left. Let me check your body. Although the beautiful woman said this, there seemed to be saliva dripping from the corner of her mouth. Jun Xiaoyao's body had been hammered by the myriad qi and had the aptitude to become an emperor. How could there be hidden dangers and defects? Excuses, they were all excuses. When the beautiful woman touched Jun Xiaoyao's body, her eyes widened. She took a deep breath and exclaimed subconsciously, "So big! Senior, please have some self-respect." Jun Xiaoyao took a step back and said righteously. Although he was not an ascetic cultivator, he could not be so casual. The beautiful woman's eyes lit up and said, "It's okay. Let me help you rub more and make your body more perfect." "Thank you, senior, but you don't have to." Jun Xiaoyao took another step back. It was said that women were like wolves at 30, tigers at 40, and could sit on the ground and suck the earth at 50. Just like this beautiful woman in front of him, who knew how long she had stayed in the bronze immortal palace. It was not just sucking the earth, it was simply a black hole. Jun Xiaoyao wanted to walk out of the bronze immortal palace alive. He did not want to become a withered corpse. An old blind man snorted and said, "That's enough. Feng Xionyang, he is the fated person of Master. If you dare to mess around and Master finds out in the future." The beautiful woman named Feng Xionyang reluctantly let go of her hand when she heard an old blind man mention Master. Oh, the sacred body of the ancients is indeed worthy. Feng Xionyang was tempted. If Jun Xiaoyao was not related to her master, Feng Xionyang might not have been able to hold back. Jun Xiaoyao breathed a sigh of relief. If Feng Xionyang had really used force, he would not have been able to resist. "Kid, aren't you curious as to why you were able to survive?" asked Old Blind. "Is it because of that master?" Jun Xiaoyao asked. An old blind man sighed and said, "Haha, for so many years, we followed Master's orders and drifted in the bronze immortal palace, waiting for the fated person. I didn't expect that it would finally happen. That's right, that's right. This old one can finally leave immortal palace." The feathered parrot cried out with a duck-like voice. Jun Xiaoyao said, "Senior, can you tell me in detail?" Next, he also learned some of the truth. Sure enough, the master they were talking about was the woman in the ghost mask. She was an unimaginably powerful existence with unimaginable means. As for the deeper karma, Old Blind and the others kept it a secret and did not speak of it. They only said that if Jun Xiaoyao was fated to find Master in the future, he would know everything. "It's her again," Jun Xiaoyao murmured. He walked up to the bronze platform and came to the wooden table. He reached out and picked up the grimace mask covered in dust. The mask looked like it was crying, but not crying. It looked like it was smiling, but not smiling. It looked a bit clumsy. A peerless woman with unimaginable power was actually wearing such a clumsy and somewhat laughable mask. It made one sigh. At the same time, Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have vaguely heard a little girl's bright, bell-like laughter coming from the grimace mask. It was this faint laughter that led him to this place. Jun Xiaoyao also saw the yellowed picture scroll. There was a blurry figure of a tall man on it. He was handsome beyond compare and looked very much like Jun Xiaoyao. However, in the next moment, Jun Xiaoyao's expression was indifferent. He suddenly waved his hand, and the ancient emperor flame surged out, burning the picture scroll to ashes. Chapter 483. Seeing this scene, Old Blind and the others revealed a look of surprise in their eyes, but they did not say anything. They had already decided that Jun Xiaoyao was the fated one. Therefore, no matter what Jun Xiaoyao did, they would not interfere. Jun Xiaoyao's face was calm as he watched the painting turn into ashes. However, his eyes were indifferent. I, Jun Xiaoyao, am just Jun Xiaoyao. I am not anyone's substitute. If you want to find comfort in me, you will only be disappointed, Jun Xiaoyao muttered. Although the demon-masked woman's backup plan had indeed helped him many times. However, this did not mean that Jun Xiaoyao would become someone's substitute. He was just Jun Xiaoyao, not anyone else. If the demon-masked woman wanted to find a shadow of someone familiar in him, she would be disappointed. As for the so-called reincarnation, Jun Xiaoyao did not comment. He did not think that he was anyone's reincarnation. Of course, the demon-masked woman had done him a favor. Strictly speaking, the opportunities in the Bronze Immortal Palace were given to him by the demon-masked woman. Because of this, Jun Xiaoyao would find a way to find the demon-masked woman in the future and resolve the entanglement of karma. This little brother Xiaoyao seems to have some personality. A cripple sighed as he watched Jun Xiaoyao burn the painting. Who cares if he has a personality or not? We can finally leave the Immortal Palace. The parrot was very excited, and all its feathers stood up. Warriors at their level were all ancestor-like existences in the undying powers. They were supposed to be high and mighty, ruling over the endless immortal domain. However, the four of them were willing to guard the Bronze Immortal Palace for an eternity, just to wait for the arrival of the fated one. Of course, an old blind man and the others were willing to do this. The demon-masked woman did not force them. Have you forgotten the master's orders? We have to listen to the orders of the fated one, Fang Xuanyang said. The three of them and the bird didn't have any blood relatives to begin with. After guarding the Immortal Palace for endless years, it was even more impossible for them to establish contact with anyone in the outside world. Therefore, even if they went out, they had nothing to do. Fang Xuanyang, on the other hand, was more than willing to stay by Jun Xiaoyao's side and watch the fun. Of course, there was no lack of other thoughts. You make it sound so dignified. You're just lusting after that brat's body. Vulgar. The parrot snorted coldly. So what if I'm vulgar? You King idiot. Fang Xuanyang cursed with her hands on her hips. She didn't look like a high and mighty supreme being expert at all. Instead, she looked like a shrew cursing on the streets. It was hard to imagine that these four were the peak-level experts that guarded Immortal Palace. Jun Xiaoyao also sighed. You can't judge a book by its cover. Regardless, we should still listen to the master's orders. If it wasn't for her. An old blind man released a light sigh. Not too long ago, countless years ago, he was still just a blind old beggar on the streets that no one pitied. It was that tall and slender woman who wore a demon mask who saw him and took pity on him, having him follow by her side as an old servant. A cripple also sighed. He was originally one of the common people, but his enemies sought revenge on him, breaking his legs, leaving him to wander about in dire straits. If it wasn't for him encountering the master, he might have died in some unknown corner. Fang Xuanyang also entered a reminiscence. She came from a poor background, originally a geisha in the Red House. She suffered all types of humiliation and belittlement from others. When she was almost humiliated by a divine flame realm cultivator, it was that woman who wore a demon mask who appeared, saving her. Only then did Fang Xuanyang follow her wholeheartedly. There was also the pencil-feathered parrot. It recalled the terrifying memories of being pressed onto a chopping board, almost being made into braised chicken. It was the demon mask woman who appeared. When she saw its stubborn appearance of survival, she saved it, raising it by her side like a pet. Meanwhile now, the blind old servant, a cripple, the red house geisha, and the pet parrot all became supreme being experts. They also abided by their promise, guarding immortal palace, searching for the fated one. An old blind man said to Jun Xiaoyao, "Little kid, regardless of what kind of relationship you have with the master, right now, you are the fated one. The four of us will also listen to your orders. As long as it isn't something too excessive, we will agree." When Jun Xiaoyao heard this, he was also stunned. Did he just obtain 4 supreme being level servants? This was something he didn't even dare think about. Even if Jun Xiaoyao was the respected son of God of the Jun family, Jiang family's young master, there was no way he would let a supreme being be his servant. But now, the 4 of them in front of him actually listened to his orders. This was a huge gain. No supreme being would condescend to be someone else's servant, not to mention Jun Xiaoyao, who was only a sage. In their eyes, sages were just slightly bigger ants. Of course, this was because of the demon mask woman. Otherwise, the 4 of them wouldn't have bothered with Jun Xiaoyao. At most, only Fang Xionyang was willing to play with Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao was also very self-aware. He didn't become arrogant and condescending because of this. Instead, he slightly cupped his hands and said, "Thank you for your kindness. I naturally won't order you around. If you don't mind, after leaving Immortal Palace, you can come to my Jun family as a guest." Jun Xiaoyao's words were modest and appropriate. An old blind man and the other's expressions softened a little. If Jun Xiaoyao was really that kind of person who didn't know what was good for him, they would be displeased. Haha, little brother Xiaoyao is really polite. In that case, I'll be a guest in your room tonight. Fang Xionyang giggled. Jun Xiaoyao blushed with shame. After that, Jun Xiaoyao also asked about the sage tribulation. He also received an answer from an old blind man and the others. It turned out that the bronze immortal palace could isolate and shield the rules of heaven and earth. Jun Xiaoyao was in the bronze immortal palace and was tainted with the aura of the bronze immortal palace. The sage tribulation couldn't sense it and naturally wouldn't descend. Of course, if Jun Xiaoyao wanted, they could also remove the aura of the bronze immortal palace from Jun Xiaoyao's body and let the sage tribulation descend. Compared to the sage tribulation, I think you should be more interested in another thing. An old blind man smacked his lips and said, "What's the matter?" Jun Xiaoyao was curious. "The immortal ancient world," an old blind man said. "The immortal ancient world?" Jun Xiaoyao was puzzled. An old blind man shook his head and said, "You're really a kid who doesn't know how lucky you are. I was going to refine the immortal ancient spirit, but I gave it to you in the end. You've completely refined the immortal ancient spirit in the past 2 years. Otherwise, how could your primordial spirit have made a breakthrough?" "I see." Jun Xiaoyao was enlightened. He finally understood why the power of his primordial spirit had soared so much. It turned out that he had refined the immortal ancient spirit. After carefully digesting an old blind man's words, Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have thought of something, and his eyes lit up. "Senior, you mean that I've completely refined the immortal ancient spirit? To a certain extent, I'm the will of the immortal ancient world?" "That's right." An old blind man nodded. Jun Xiaoyao took a deep breath. He had become the will of the immortal ancient world. What did this mean? It meant that Jun Xiaoyao was the supreme ruler of the immortal ancient world. Leisurely literature, let the soul travel. == Chapter 484. The immortal ancient world was not originally a training ground for geniuses, but a prison for the sinners. The prison was guarded by the will of the immortal ancient world, or rather, the spirit of the immortal ancient. Now, Jun Xiaoyao had completely refined the spirit of the immortal ancient, which meant that his will had become the will of the immortal ancient world. In other words, Jun Xiaoyao was now the ruler of the immortal ancient world. All living things in the immortal ancient world were under the control of Jun Xiaoyao. This did not mean that Jun Xiaoyao was stronger than all living things in the immortal ancient world. Instead, he could use the rules of the immortal ancient world to bind and even kill any living things in the immortal ancient world. To put it more bluntly, Jun Xiaoyao was the god of the immortal ancient world. Jun Xiaoyao knew what this meant. The races in the immortal ancient world were an extremely terrifying force. Other races aside, the four great races of the immortal ancient world were a terrifying force comparable to the immortal forces. The dragon-human race, the ancient sorcerer race, the beauty race, and the three-eyed sacred race. These four great races all had supreme being level cultivators, but they were restricted by the rules of the immortal ancient world and could not leave their ancestral lands. Not only were there supreme being level cultivators, but there were also many cultivators above the saint realm. It could be said that the four great races, except for the lack of imperial weapons and resources, were close to the immortal forces in terms of the number of cultivators. Not to mention, there were many other races in the immortal ancient world. They might not have any particularly powerful cultivators, but together they were enough to shake the Huangtian mystic realm. Jun Xiaoyao was a smart man. There was no way he wouldn't know just how terrifying the power he had at his disposal was. Little brother Xiaoyao, what do you plan to do next? Fang Xionyang asked with great interest. Let's go to the immortal ancient world first. Jun Xiaoyao smiled. He would be a fool not to take advantage of the situation. Jun Xiaoyao was now the god of the immortal ancient world. All the races in the immortal ancient world were his prisoners. Even the supreme beings were no exception. Jun Xiaoyao could not turn a blind eye to this power. Logically speaking, after the immortal ancient world disappeared, unless it appeared on its own, no one could enter the immortal ancient world. But Jun Xiaoyao was different. He had replaced the will of the immortal ancient world. Jun Xiaoyao's primordial spirit moved slightly and locked onto the spatial coordinates of the immortal ancient world. Senior, can you activate the Bronze Divine Hall? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Even though Jun Xiaoyao was now a saint and could shatter the void with just a wave of his hand, he was still a saint. The immortal ancient world was. The ancient world was ancient immortal. Ancient world, ancient immortal ancient, the ancient immortal immortal. Of course. Old Blind nodded slightly. Was immortal ancient god immortal now that the fated person had been found? The bronze immortal palace naturally belonged to Jun Xiaoyao. An old blind man, a cripple, the parrot, and Fang Xionyang controlled the bronze immortal palace to travel through the endless void. Jun Xiaoyao's lips curled into a smile. Those who were familiar with Jun Xiaoyao knew that his smile was dangerous. If he wasn't thinking about how to scheme, he was thinking about how to kill. Speaking of which, Jun Xiaoyao did not have a good impression of the immortal ancient races. Apart from his slightly better relationship with the beauty races Li Qiushui, he had conflicts with the other three great immortal ancient races. Jun Xiaoyao sighed and said, I hope you guys are sensible. Otherwise, it would be a pity to kill all of you. Of course, this was the most extreme situation. As long as those immortal ancient clans were tactful, Jun Xiaoyao wouldn't mind showing them a bit of pity. After all, dead people were worthless. The reason why Jun Xiaoyao wanted to take control of the immortal ancient clans was because of this. It was because he had an idea in his mind. He wanted to form a force that belonged to him for fun. That's right, it was just for fun. Jun Xiaoyao was the young master of the Son of God, who was respected by the Jiang family and the Jun family. He didn't need to form a force. With his status, he could mobilize the various forces of the two great families. However, Jun Xiaoyao still hoped to form a force that was completely under his control. And those immortal ancient races were no doubt ready-made resources. Just as Jun Xiaoyao was plotting his next move, a voice rang out. In the immortal ancient world, an atmosphere of despair pervaded. After the immortal ancient spirit was suppressed into the bronze immortal palace, the rules of the immortal ancient world didn't disappear. Instead, they were completely locked and couldn't be changed. Unless the will of the immortal ancient world reappeared, the rules could be changed. But was that possible? As one of the seven wonders, the bronze immortal palace had drifted through the ages. No one knew where it would appear next. Even if it appeared again, it was almost impossible for it to appear in the immortal ancient world. Therefore, the beings of the immortal ancient races were in complete despair. They would never be able to leave this cage for the rest of their lives. Why is it like this? How long do we have to pay for the sins of our ancestors? In the Beauty Tribe's ancestral land, a beautiful woman in a palace dress raised her slender neck and sighed. She was the leader of the Beauty Tribe's true ancestor. Her name was Li Xian, and her strength was at the level of a great heavenly venerate. It could be said that great heavenly venerates were the absolute top experts in both the immortal ancient world and the nine heavens immortal realm. Great heavenly venerates were definitely at the level of a great heavenly venerate in the immortal ancient world. However, so what if they had the strength to reach the heavens? Due to the restrictions of the immortal ancient world, the Li Xian, the Beauty Tribe's true ancestor, could only move around within the boundaries of the ancestral land, even though she was a great heavenly venerate. Under such circumstances, the stronger one was, the more sorrowful they felt. They were like caged beasts. Previously, Li Xian still had one hope. Perhaps their sins would be forgiven in the future. Perhaps the will of the immortal ancient world could release them. But now, even this last hope was gone. They could only be pitiful prisoners for generations to come. Great true ancestor, don't be sad. Qiuyue is still with you. Beside the Dawn Immortal was a young girl with delicate eyes and a beautiful appearance that was like a lotus flower that had just emerged from the water. If Jun Xiaoyao was here, he would notice that she looked very similar to the young ruler of the Beauty Tribe. Li Qiushe, you silly child, the son of God the Jun clan, found a few immortal ancient badges. You could have left the immortal ancient world with your sister. Why didn't you go? The Li Xian sighed. The beautiful girl was Li Qiushue's younger sister, Li Qiuyue. Previously, Jun Xiaoyao had found a few immortal ancient badges in the heaven forbidden ruins. Although they could not allow the Li Xian and the other true ancestors to leave, they could allow the younger generation to leave the immortal ancient world. Originally, Li Qiuyue was supposed to leave with her sister. However, in the end, Li Qiuyue refused. What's the point of going? Sister's talent is exceptional, and she can make a name for herself outside. But Qiuyue's talent is not great, and my strength is not great either. If I go outside, I'll only be a burden to sister. Qiuyue's only use is to accompany great true ancestor in the immortal ancient world, said Li Qiuyue obediently. You child. The Li Xian's eyes were filled with pain. She knew that there was another reason why Li Qiuyue did not leave. She wanted to give the immortal ancient badges to other talented clansmen. There were not many kind-hearted girls like Li Qiuyue left. As if she had thought of something, the Li Xian suddenly said, if you give up the chance to leave the immortal ancient world, doesn't that mean you will never see the Jun clan son of God? Chapter 485. Hearing Li Xian's words, Li Qiuyue blushed and hastily explained, True ancestor, what are you talking about? Child, what are you hiding from me for? Weren't you secretly observing the battle in the Xiantian mountain range? Did you fall in love with the Jun family son of God at first sight? Teased the Li Xian. Sometimes, teasing this little girl could also relieve his depressed mood. True ancestor, how could I? Li Qiuyue's face was red, but she didn't have the strength to defend herself. There's no need to explain anything. That Jun family son of God is truly a dragon among men. If I were a few tens of thousands of years younger, perhaps I would also be tempted, laughed the Li Xian. She was very beautiful and elegant. She looked to be in her 30s or 40s. However, a cultivator's age wasn't determined by their appearance. Hearing Li Xian's teasing, Li Qiuyue's ears turned red and she remained silent. It was impossible for her not to be tempted. Li Qiuyue had never been to the outside world and had very little contact with the opposite sex. She was very pure. In this kind of situation, seeing an outstanding man like Jun Xiaoyao was like a princess in a castle seeing a prince on a white horse. Li Qiuyue had also secretly observed the battle in the Xiantian mountain range. Jun Xiaoyao was like an immortal that had descended to this world. His every movement was without the slightest trace of anger, but he was able to casually kill all his enemies. That kind of carefree and domineering appearance had completely captured Li Qiuyue's heart. Adding on the fact that Jun Xiaoyao had helped her sister find the immortal ancient decree, her good impression of him had deepened. Unfortunately, Li Qiuyue was too pure and timid. Let alone talking to Jun Xiaoyao. She had never even met Jun Xiaoyao. She only dared to secretly observe. After Jun Xiaoyao entered the Bronze Immortal Palace and didn't come out, Li Qiuyue had cried for a long time. The Li Xian could only comfort her that Jun Xiaoyao would definitely escape and safely return to the outside world. Only then did Li Qiuyue stop crying. What's the point? I won't be able to see the Son of God again. Even if I did, he probably wouldn't like me. Li Qiuyue lowered her head. She knew her own limits. Although her appearance wasn't bad, it was impossible for her to match such an immortal like him. Silly girl. Li Xian rubbed Li Qiuyue's head, her eyes filled with heartache and pity. If possible, she really wanted the divine child of the Jun family to meet Li Qiuyue, even if it was just to comfort her. Just at this moment, a rumbling sound rang out from the skies of the immortal ancient world. Li Xian, after the immortal ancient world went into hiding, it would maintain absolute isolation. No one would be able to find it. And even if you could only wait for the next opening of the immortal ancient world. This was the restriction of the immortal ancient world. However, at this moment, a mysterious rumble came from the sky of the immortal ancient world. This shocked even a grand Empyrean like the Dawn Immortal. Qiuyue, take a group of people and go investigate. See what's going on, ordered the Li Xian. As the beauty tribe's true ancestor, she couldn't leave the ancestral land. She could only rely on Li Qiuyue and the others. Yes, Qiuyue obeys. Li Qiuyue nodded. She was also very curious. Could there be some kind of change in the immortal ancient world? It wasn't just the beauty tribe that was alarmed. The other three immortal ancient races also had ancestors that sensed this fluctuation. They all sent people to investigate. The other immortal ancient races were also alarmed. Some of their people began to investigate. In an instant, the immortal ancient world, which had fallen into despair, regained some commotion. Just as the entire immortal ancient world was in an uproar again, a figure silently appeared in the sky. His clothes were whiter than snow, and he had a slender figure. His appearance was handsome like a celestial being, and his entire body gave off a perfect and flawless feeling of being in harmony with the Tao. It was as if he was the embodiment of the heavenly Tao, the darling of the heavens and earth. He represented perfection. It was Jun Xiaoyao, who had returned to the immortal ancient world. After Jun Xiaoyao refined the immortal ancient spirit, he was equivalent to the will of the immortal ancient world. Others couldn't enter the immortal ancient world, but he could. Moreover, he could change the laws of the immortal ancient world at will. Of course, Jun Xiaoyao wasn't prepared to do that now. He still had to subdue the immortal ancient races and use them for himself. After returning to the immortal ancient world, Jun Xiaoyao felt different again. He seemed to have become the will of the heavenly Tao. He could sense the location of all the living beings in the immortal ancient world, as well as their emotions. There were also some opportunities in the immortal ancient world that hadn't been discovered yet. Jun Xiaoyao could also sense them at will. Simply put, Jun Xiaoyao was like the god of the immortal ancient world. The number of experts in the immortal ancient races is far beyond my imagination. As for those opportunities, they could be discovered in the future. They will become the foundation and resources for me to establish my force, Jun Xiaoyao murmured. He had already begun to pave the way for establishing his force. Although it was just for fun, he still had to play a little trick. By the way, which race's ancestral land should I go to first? Jun Xiaoyao pondered. After thinking for a while, Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly and said, "Let's go to the dragon-human race first." Jun Xiaoyao was more than familiar with the method of making an example of the dragon-human race. These immortal ancient races obviously wouldn't submit to him so easily. Since that was the case, he had to establish his authority. The dragon human race was undoubtedly the one with the greatest grudge and friction with Jun Xiaoyao. Therefore, he could only start with the dragon human race. Jun Xiaoyao mourned for the dragon human race in his heart for a while. Then his figure flashed, and he broke through the void. Jun Xiaoyao was now at the Sage Realm and could break through the void for a short period of time. Outside the ancestral land of the dragon human race, many young geniuses were patrolling. The previous commotion had also attracted the attention of the dragon human race. What was that tremor in the sky? Could it be that someone has entered the immortal ancient world again? A dragon human genius wondered. How is that possible? The immortal ancient world is closed and no one can find it. Even if they can find it, they can't enter, another dragon human genius said. Do you guys think that Jun Xiaoyao, who was trapped in the bronze immortal palace, has returned? Someone else joked. Haha, your joke is really funny. The dragon human geniuses present all laughed. They didn't have a good impression of Jun Xiaoyao, who had killed Crown Prince Ao Guang. Seeing that Jun Xiaoyao had died in the bronze immortal palace, they were happier than anyone else. The scene was filled with a joyous atmosphere. Right at this moment, an indifferent and warm voice suddenly resounded from the sky. What are you guys talking about? Why are you laughing so happily? Why don't you let this son of God hear it? A young figure tore through the sky and descended like a deity. Hearing this voice, the dragon human geniuses present all subconsciously raised their heads. Then they saw the young, godlike figure shrouded in a dazzling light. There was dead silence. Chapter 486. Jun Xiaoyao's snow-white robes fluttered in the wind as he stood in the void. Tao patterns surged around his body, and tens of thousands of rays of light appeared. He really looked like the son of an immortal emperor, the descendant of a god, with a sacred, transcendent, and supreme aura. It's Jun Xiaoyao. A dragon human race genius's eyes popped out when he saw this. He was so shocked that he couldn't even speak properly. He wasn't the only one. The other dragon human race geniuses also looked as if they had seen a ghost, and their faces were full of disbelief. That's right, they really looked as if they had seen a ghost. Didn't Jun Xiaoyao die in the bronze immortal palace? How could he appear in front of them now? Are my eyes playing tricks on me? Some dragon human race geniuses rubbed their eyes desperately, but Jun Xiaoyao's figure was still standing in the sky. Why are you so surprised to see me, the son of God? Jun Xiaoyao smiled and looked calm and gentle. But the dragon human race geniuses present didn't think so. Jun Xiaoyao's fierce name had completely spread throughout the immortal ancient world. In the immortal ancient world, no one didn't know about Jun Xiaoyao. In the eyes of the immortal ancient creatures, Jun Xiaoyao was synonymous with the god of death. Didn't you die in the bronze immortal palace? A dragon human race genius cried out involuntarily. Die? Unless I, the son of God, want to die. Who can take my life? Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently with his hands behind his back. Heavens, even the bronze immortal palace couldn't kill him. A dragon human race genius wailed in his heart. They were just joking that Jun Xiaoyao couldn't have returned, right? But now it turned out to be true. Jun Xiaoyao, you killed His Highness the Crown Prince and still dare to appear in the ancestral land of the dragon human race openly. Do you want to die? A dragon human race woman's eyes were full of naked hatred. Just like Zulong, the dragon human race had different bloodlines. This woman from the dragon human clan was a member of Crown Prince Ao Guang's bloodline. Do you have a death wish? Jun Xiaoyao looked at the woman. With the same warm smile on his face, he slowly stretched out a hand. In an instant, the aura of the saint realm erupted. His body was still tainted by the aura of the bronze immortal palace, so the sage tribulation did not descend. However, this did not mean that Jun Xiaoyao was not a saint. Boom! As Jun Xiaoyao stretched out his hand, a giant hand made of intertwined Dao runes came crashing down. The female dragon human race woman was horrified. She didn't even have time to scream before she was squashed into a meat patty. The sky prides of the dragon human race present were all dumbfounded. At this moment, the aura emanating from Jun Xiaoyao's body made their minds go blank. The aura of a saint. After a short moment of blankness, there was an incredulous shock. This is impossible. Many sky prides of the dragon human race cried out in shock. When Jun Xiaoyao was in the immortal ancient world, his cultivation level was at the Tao God realm, and he was already extremely talented. However, now, damn it, he had become a saint. Even if he was on a rocket, it was impossible to cultivate so quickly. What kind of secret technique did you use? Some sky prides of the dragon human race cried out in disbelief. If you don't believe me, then try it again. Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward and did not even make a move. The aura of a saint crushed the bodies of the sky prides of the dragon human race, causing blood to splatter everywhere. These sky prides of the dragon human race were worthless trash in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. They did not even have the right to join his forces. Run. He really is a saint. Oh my God. Let's go back to the ancestral land. Even if Jun Xiaoyao is a saint, he would never dare to step into our ancestral land. Some sky prides of the dragon human race cried out in alarm and began to flee in panic toward the ancestral land. The experts of the dragon human race were all in the ancestral land. Jun Xiaoyao had the ability to kill these sky prides of the dragon human race, but he did not do so. It was as if he was looking at a white mouse in a cage. His eyes were filled with mockery. Do you think that I would not dare to step into the ancestral land of the dragon human race? What a joke. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. He really sympathized with these sky prides of the dragon human race. They knew nothing about Jun Xiaoyao's abilities. Just as Jun Xiaoyao was massacring the sky prides of the dragon human race in front of the ancestral land, this commotion was also heard by the spies of the other races in the vicinity. For a time, many races began to gather at the ancestral land of the dragon human race. In another place, a group of young creatures with a third eye between their eyebrows also received the news. What? There's a commotion at the dragon human race. Could it be related to the tremors in the sky? These creatures were the sky prides of the three-eyed sacred clan. After receiving the news, they also rushed to the dragon human race. The sky prides of the ancient sorcerer race also received the news and rushed to the dragon human race as fast as they could. There's a commotion at the dragon human race. Who dares to cause trouble at the dragon human race? Li Qiuyue was ordered by Li Xian to investigate the situation. She also received the news. Let's go and take a look. Li Qiuyue also rushed to the ancestral land of the dragon human race with a group of sky prides of the beauty race. For a time, the ancestral land of the dragon human race seemed to have become the center of the immortal ancient world. Many races also rushed there. The reason for such a commotion was that many people linked this matter to the abnormal tremors in the sky just now. For these immortal ancient races who yearned for freedom, any abnormality would attract their attention. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao had already arrived at the ancestral land of the dragon human race. Previously, a small number of sky prides of the dragon human race had also escaped into the ancestral land. After entering the ancestral land, these sky prides of the dragon human race heaved a sigh of relief. Then, they looked at Jun Xiaoyao, who had just arrived, with a mocking look on their faces. The powerhouses of the dragon human race could not leave the ancestral land. However, as long as Jun Xiaoyao dared to step into the ancestral land, they could guarantee that Jun Xiaoyao would not be able to walk out alive. Jun Xiaoyao, although I don't know what method you use to temporarily reach the sage realm, this is the ancestral land of the dragon human race. You'll die if you step in. That's right. Aren't you very powerful? If you have the guts, then come in. That's right, come here. Another sky pride of the dragon human race hooked his finger at Jun Xiaoyao with a provocative look. When Jun Xiaoyao saw this, he shook his head indifferently and said, "Idiot." Then, he looked at the sky prides of the dragon human race. The three lives, primordial spirits, in his mind shook and released fluctuations. The sky prides of the dragon human race who had mocked and ridiculed him had their primordial spirits destroyed one by one. Their heads exploded like bloody fireworks. How dare you? A cold voice rang out from the ancestral land of the dragon human race, and the aura of a sage erupted. The sage of the dragon human race had appeared. At this moment, the other great immortal ancient races also arrived at the ancestral land of the dragon human race. The people of the three-eyed sacred tribe and the ancient sorcerer tribe were all present. Li Chiyue also led the sky prides of the beauty tribe to this place. However, when she looked over and saw the immortal-like silhouette in white, her mind shook and went completely blank. Wasn't this the person she had been longing for day and night? It's Lord Son of God. Li Chiyue covered her pink lips with her jade-like hand. She was surprised, astonished, and overjoyed. Chapter 487. Ever since Jun Xiaoyao disappeared with the Bronze Immortal Palace, Li Chiyue thought that she would never see Jun Xiaoyao again. Even if Jun Xiaoyao escaped from the Bronze Immortal Palace, he would never be able to return to the immortal ancient world. But now, the figure standing in the wind with his clothes fluttering in the wind was none other than Jun Xiaoyao. Li Chiyue was a little excited and covered her mouth with her jade-like hands. It's really the son of God of the Jun family. Not only did he come out of the Bronze Immortal Palace, but he also returned to the immortal ancient world. What's going on? There was no one in the immortal ancient world who did not know of Jun Xiaoyao. When the many creatures of the immortal ancient world saw Jun Xiaoyao reappear, they were all stunned and fell into shock. Jun Xiaoyao was calm when he saw the appearance of so many immortal ancient races. This was what he wanted to see, killing the chicken to scare the monkey. Who was the monkey? Of course, it was the immortal ancient races. Jun Xiaoyao, how dare you act so presumptuously in the ancestral land of the dragon human race? A few figures with powerful auras appeared. They were the elders of the dragon human race. There were quasi-saints and saints among them. Their auras were extremely powerful. Seeing the corpses of the dragon human race prodigies on the ground, the elders of the dragon human race looked extremely cold. The few surviving dragon human race prodigies heaved a sigh of relief when they saw the elders. With the elders of the dragon human race present, Jun Xiaoyao could not act presumptuously. Finally, someone decent has come out. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were indifferent. Jun Xiaoyao, although I don't know how you came out of the Bronze Immortal Palace and returned to the immortal ancient world, you are too naive to act presumptuously in the dragon human race. A saint elder of the dragon human race stepped out. I, the Son of God, am too lazy to say more. I'll give you two choices. First, submit to me, the Son of God, and be my slave forever. Second, wipe out your entire race and cut off your bloodline. Leave no one alive. Jun Xiaoyao flung his sleeves, his tone cold and emotionless. When these words were spoken, all of immortal ancient's creatures were stupefied. Did I hear wrongly? Jun Xiaoyao wants to enslave the entire dragon human race. Did Jun Xiaoyao go crazy in the Bronze Immortal Palace? How would he say such words? Not only were the dragon people dumbfounded, but the creatures of the other races present could not help but exclaim in surprise. They seriously suspected that Jun Xiaoyao had damaged his brain in the Bronze Immortal Palace. Otherwise, why would he propose such a ridiculous condition? Lord Son of God, Li Chiyue, and the other prodigies of the beauty tribe were also in disbelief. Although they had no ill feelings towards Jun Xiaoyao, they felt that Jun Xiaoyao was a little too naive. Seeing this reaction, Jun Xiaoyao's expression remained calm. He looked around and said, "This son of God's choice is not limited to the Dragon Man race, but to all races of immortal ancient. You only have two choices, submit or die." When these words came out, the faces of the creatures of immortal ancient who were watching the show completely darkened. Haha, interesting, really interesting. It seems that you really damaged your brain in the Bronze Immortal Palace. You want to subdue the Dragon Man race? Sure, but do you dare to step into the ancestral land and fight with me? The saint of the Dragon Man race was so angry that he laughed. Why not? Jun Xiaoyao put his hands behind his back and was about to step into the ancestral land of the Dragon Man race. Lord Son of God, you can't. Li Chiyue could not help but stand up and cry out when she saw this scene. Jun Xiaoyao calmly turned his gaze and saw a somewhat familiar face. Is it someone related to Li Chiyue? Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. However, under such circumstances, it was already very good that Li Qiuyue could bravely stand up and warn him. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly at Li Qiuyue and then continued to step into the ancestral land. Li Qiuyue was extremely anxious. That was the saint of the Dragon Man race. How could Jun Xiaoyao deal with him? What should we do? The experts of the beauty race can't leave the ancestral land. Li Qiuyue was burning with anxiety. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao step into the ancestral land, the elder of the Dragon Man race revealed a sinister look on his face. "Kid, pay for my crown prince's life." The elder of the Dragon Man race stretched out his hand, and the dermic power of the Saint Realm vibrated out, turning into a dermic power dragon claw that grabbed at Jun Xiaoyao. The space around Jun Xiaoyao was torn apart as the claw came down. Li Qiuyue subconsciously covered her eyes, not wanting to see what was going to happen next. However, there was a trace of cold disdain in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. His body shook, and the aura of the Saint Realm also erupted. At the same time, the 100,000 divine elephant particles in his body nurtured a terrifying power. Vigorous qi and blood soared into the sky and turned into a terrifying primordial divine elephant. This was not an illusion, but a manifestation of the true power of the primordial divine elephant. It was the true body of the divine elephant. Divine elephant sky, crumbling tackle. Jun Xiaoyao activated the divine elephant true body, and the primordial divine elephant's trunk curled up, roaring into the sky, causing the stars in the sky to fall. The entire primordial divine elephant true body charged out, as if it could destroy the heavens. The dragon claw was directly smashed into pieces. The primordial divine elephant true body did not lose its momentum and charged toward the elder of the Dragon Man race. How was this possible? The elder of the Dragon Man race's expression changed abruptly. It was incomparably pale, and there was an unprecedented shock. It was as if he was facing an ancient, peerless, ferocious beast. In the next moment, the primordial divine elephant true body charged forward, and the power of 100,000 divine elephants erupted, which was far more than 10 billion kilograms of divine power. In addition to Jun Xiaoyao's Saint Realm cultivation, he directly destroyed the elder of the Dragon Man race's physical body and primordial spirit. The elder of the Dragon Man race's Saint Realm had fallen. All of the immortal ancient beings who saw this scene felt as if their souls had been sucked out, leaving only their lifeless bodies. The prides of the three-eyed sacred clan and the ancient sorcerer race were also extremely frightened. What did they see? Jun Xiaoyao killed a Saint Realm elder in an instant. One had to know that not long ago, Jun Xiaoyao was only the strongest of the younger generation. But now, even a Saint Realm elder was killed by Jun Xiaoyao in an instant. This completely subverted their imaginations. Lord Son of God is actually so powerful. Li Qiuyue's beautiful eyes trembled, and her rosy lips were wide open. She was still afraid that Jun Xiaoyao would die in the hands of the elder of the Dragon Man race. But now, the one who died was the elder of the Dragon Man race. How can this be? How can Jun Xiaoyao be so strong? The other elders of the Dragon Man race were all dumbfounded. Even if Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation was heaven-defying and had reached the Saint Realm. But even if they were both at the Saint Realm, it was impossible for him to kill someone so casually. What did this mean? Although Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation was at the Saint Realm, his true strength was far beyond the Saint Realm. If they knew that Jun Xiaoyao had not even passed the Saint Tribulation, they would probably be even more shocked. Not bad, Jun Xiaoyao said lightly, making an evaluation of his own strength. This elder of the dragon human race was one of the most ordinary saints in the Saint Realm. Do you want to give it a try too? Jun Xiaoyao looked at the remaining elders of the Dragon Man race. Sage to Be and Sage to Be were the pillars of power in a first-rate force. Jun Xiaoyao did not want to waste this resource. Of course, if they did not know what was good for them, Jun Xiaoyao did not mind killing them. What's going on with you? The elders of the Dragon Man race were no longer as arrogant as before, and their attitudes changed drastically. Only the strong had the right to be respected. Your choice is still here, submit or die. Jun Xiaoyao was too lazy to explain anything. Boom! At this moment, an astonishing aura erupted from the depths of the ancestral land of the Dragon Man race. It was the might of a supreme. Oh no, Lord Son of God has alarmed the supreme ancestor of the Dragon Man race. Li Qiuyue's face turned pale. Even if Jun Xiaoyao had returned in defiance of the heavens and possessed the terrifying cultivation of the Saint Realm. But this time, it was a supreme ancestor who had appeared. No matter how heaven-defying Jun Xiaoyao was, it was impossible for him to deal with a supreme ancestor. Chapter 488. In the depths of the ancestral land of the dragon-human clan, a terrifying supreme being aura erupted, causing the heavens to lose their color and the universe to tremble. Little brat, my dragon-human clan is not a place where you can behave atrociously. A cold voice filled with killing intent rang out, and a figure slowly stepped out from the depths of the ancestral land. Jun Xiaoyao actually alarmed the dragon-human clan's supreme being ancestor. If I were Jun Xiaoyao, I would immediately retreat from the ancestral land and still be fine. Many of the immortal ancient creatures were shocked. A supreme being ancestor did not appear often. However, what surprised everyone was that Jun Xiaoyao had not left the ancestral land yet, and he was just standing there leisurely with his hands behind his back. Crazy, Jun Xiaoyao is definitely crazy. Even a sage is like an ant in front of a supreme being. He is too arrogant. Does he really think he can deal with a supreme being? Seeing the leisurely Jun Xiaoyao, the immortal ancient creatures were all shocked. Lord Son of God, Li Qiuyue was also extremely nervous. After all, Jun Xiaoyao was facing a supreme, great ancestor who stood high above the masses. The supreme being ancestor of the dragon-human clan was a golden-robed old man with a golden dragon horn on his forehead. His expression was extremely cold, and his eyes were filled with killing intent when he looked at Jun Xiaoyao. That supreme being ancestor seems to be ancestor Ao Tianming from Crown Prince Ao Guang's line. Jun Xiaoyao is completely finished. Seeing the golden-robed old man, many people could not help but exclaim. This was ancestor Ao Tianming from Ao Guang's line, and Ao Guang had fallen at the hands of Jun Xiaoyao. Therefore, one could imagine Jun Xiaoyao's current situation. This is great. Ancestor Ao Tianming is here, and we can finally punish this villain. Seeing this, the Sky Prides and elders of the dragon-human clan were filled with hope. No matter how strong Jun Xiaoyao was, it was impossible for him to deal with a supreme being. Little brat, I did not look for you to settle the score with Ao Guang, but you took the initiative to come knocking on my door. Ao Tianming's voice was cold, and his gaze was chilling. Old thing, watch your mouth. If not for the fact that you loaches have some value, I, Son of God, would have destroyed you. Jun Xiaoyao's tone was also extremely cold. You are courting death. Ao Tianming did not say anything else when he saw what was happening. He pointed his finger at Jun Xiaoyao. With his supreme being, using supreme being. He supreme being, ancestor supreme being. All immortal ancient creatures was with supreme being. Supreme being. He, supreme being supreme. Divine chains of order appeared in the void around him and swept across, directly cutting off Ao Tianming's outstretched finger. As the supreme being's blood spilled out, Ao Tianming was completely dumbfounded. This is the power of the laws of the immortal ancient world. How is this possible? Why would the laws of the immortal ancient world stop this ancestor from killing you? Ao Tianming cried out involuntarily as he clutched his severed finger. Even though he was a lesser heavenly venerable, he was still a prisoner of the immortal ancient world. It wasn't only Ao Tianming. All of the other immortal ancient creatures felt their fine hairs stand on end when they sensed this wave of natural law force. as if they had fallen into an icy cavern. This was precisely the immortal ancient law power that had restricted their ancestors for generations. Could it be that Jun Xiaoyao has received the protection of the immortal ancient world? An immortal ancient creature cried out involuntarily. If that wasn't the case, why would the rules of the immortal ancient world protect Jun Xiaoyao? Seeing everyone's shocked expressions, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently, "The will of this Son of God is the will of the immortal ancient world. Those who go against me shall die." As Jun Xiaoyao's voice fell, he slowly raised his hand and clenched it at Ao Tianming. In an instant, countless divine chains of order appeared in the skies of the immortal ancient world. Numerous divine chains of order intertwined with each other, forming an airtight formation as they descended upon Ao Tianming. "I'm impossible. What right do you have to represent the will of the immortal ancient world?" Ao Tianming roared into the sky, his lesser heavenly venerable cultivation erupting to the extreme. He even displayed the radiant sacred dragon Dharma idol. That aura was about to cause the universe to collapse. How terrifying was the full power of a lesser heavenly venerable when he attacked. However, no matter what level an expert was at, they were all restricted by the laws of the immortal ancient world. Poof, poof, poof. Numerous divine chains of order directly pierced through the radiant sacred dragon Dharma idol and pierced through Ao Tianming's heavenly venerable body. Drops of supreme venerable blood fell, smashing deep pits in the ground. The surrounding immortal ancient creatures all retreated in fear, as if they were witnessing the arrival of the end of the world. That was a lesser heavenly venerable, not some random cat or dog. However, at this moment, his body was pierced through by numerous divine chains of order, as if he was a prisoner. No, how is this possible? Ao Tianming's eyes bulged in disbelief. He was a lesser heavenly venerable, yet he was reduced to such a sorry state by a saint. You're just a lowly prisoner. Do you really think you're a high and mighty heavenly venerable? Jun Xiaoyao sneered. His eyes were indifferent and expressionless. The best way to make an example out of someone was to kill a true supreme venerable ancestor. Only then would it serve as a deterrent. "Jun family son of God, please stop." At this moment, an old voice sounded from the depths of the dragon human race's ancestral land. At the same time, another terrifying aura erupted. Another supreme venerable ancestor. All the creatures of the immortal ancient were shocked. Supreme venerable ancestors, who were rarely seen, were now appearing one after another. And all of this was because of Jun Xiaoyao. A green-robed elder with dragon horns on his head appeared once again. His aura was even more profound than Ao Tianming's. It was a horrifying greater heavenly venerable. The one in power is finally here. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were deep. "Jun family son of God, please stop for now," the green-robed elder said. There was also a faint hint of surprise in his old eyes. He had never heard of anyone who could control the will of the immortal ancient world. However, the scene before him was an ironclad fact. Jun Xiaoyao's expression did not change when he heard that. His outstretched palms abruptly closed. The countless divine chains of order in the surrounding void instantly pierced through Ao Tianming. Poof, 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 poof. Ao Tianming's heavenly venerable body was pierced through like a sieve, and his primordial spirit was directly crushed by the laws of the immortal ancient world. A lesser heavenly venerable had fallen. Dead silence. All the creatures of the immortal ancient were extremely shocked. They thought that after the greater heavenly venerable ancestor of the dragon human race appeared, Jun Xiaoyao would show some respect and restrain himself. Who would have thought that Jun Xiaoyao would directly kill Ao Tianming? Wasn't this too much? Jun Xiaoyao, the dragon human race, supreme venerable, was so angry that his old face was twitching slightly. "Sorry, my hand slipped," Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. His hand slipped? Hearing this reason, all the creatures of the immortal ancient were stunned. A casual slip of the hand, and a lesser heavenly venerable's life was gone. His hand was ridiculously slippery. Leisurely literature, let the soul travel. Equal sign. Chapter 489. Jun Xiaoyao's hand had not slipped. Ao Tianming had to die. Firstly, he needed someone to make an example out of. Secondly, it was because of the relationship between Ao Tianming and Crown Prince Ao Guang. If he killed Ao Guang, Ao Tianming would always harbor evil intentions, so it was better to just kill him. As for the other branches of the dragon human race, they were not particularly close to Ao Guang, so Jun Xiaoyao was confident in taming them. Lord Son of God actually killed a supreme ancestor. The shock in Li Qiuyue's heart was indescribable. That white-robed figure was simply a godlike existence. Was there anything he could not do? At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao's mark had been deeply imprinted in Li Qiuyue's heart. Son of God of the Jun family, you've gone too far. The dragon-human ancestor suppressed the anger in his heart. In his eyes, the sage realm was an existence that he could easily crush. But now, Jun Xiaoyao was like a god that could dictate their life and death. I don't think you figured out the situation. Jun Xiaoyao tilted his head slightly. What do you mean? The dragon-human ancestor's face darkened. In front of this son of God, you're just an ant that I can kill at any time. How dare you put on airs as a great heavenly venerate? Jun Xiaoyao said coldly. You? The dragon-human ancestor was so angry that his face turned purple and his lungs were about to explode. Seeing this, Jun Xiaoyao slowly raised his hand again. Densely packed God sequence chains appeared in the void around him. The dragon-human ancestor's eyes twitched, and he felt his hair stand on end. He suppressed the grievance in his heart and cupped his hands slightly. Son of God of the Jun family, it's my fault. Tell me your purpose in coming. Hearing this, all the surrounding immortal ancient beings were dumbfounded. A great heavenly venerate ancestor was speaking to Jun Xiaoyao in such a humble manner. Most importantly, Jun Xiaoyao had just killed a lesser Empyrean from their clan. That's more like it. I've already made my intentions clear. You either submit or die. There's no third option, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. Can you let the clan discuss this for a few days? After all, I'm not the only ancestor of the dragon human race, the ancestor of the dragon human race said. Cut the crap. If those ancestors don't agree, then they can all go to hell together. Jun Xiaoyao was too lazy to argue with them. The ancestor of the dragon human race looked embarrassed and aggrieved. It was indeed somewhat humiliating for the dragon human clan to submit to a junior at the Saint Realm. Jun Xiaoyao ignored the struggling ancestor of the dragon human race. Instead, he looked around and said, the other races of immortal ancient are the same as the dragon human race. Submit or die. You better give this son of God an answer within a day. Otherwise, I might visit your ancestral lands one by one. Jun Xiaoyao's words made the eyes of the three-eyed sacred tribe and the ancient witch tribe twitch. If Jun Xiaoyao, the god of slaughter, were to visit their ancestral land, wouldn't a large number of people die, just like the dragonborn? Hurry back and report to the ancestors. Many spies of the immortal ancient races turned back to report to their respective ancestors. Only Li Qiuyue and the others from the beauty tribe didn't panic. This was because they knew that Jun Xiaoyao had a good relationship with them. Sister has foresight indeed. Otherwise, the beauty tribe would be in trouble, Li Qiuyue said in her heart. Jun Xiaoyao also looked at Li Qiuyue and smiled. By the way, I will also make a trip to the beauty tribe. Li Qiuyue nodded slightly when she heard this. She wasn't afraid. When Jun Xiaoyao said this, he didn't have any killing intent. Obviously, he wouldn't harm the beauty tribe. Seeing this scene, the other races also had looks of envy on their faces. If we knew that the Jun family son of God was so capable, we should have built a good relationship with him before the immortal ancient opened. Sai, who knew that the Jun family son of God was so abnormal that he could dominate the will of the immortal ancient world. Many of the immortal ancient races regretted their past actions. Seeing the despair on the faces of the immortal ancient races, a strange look flashed across Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. He had already mastered the carrot and stick method. Now that he had hit them, it was time to give them some benefits. Have you thought it through? Jun Xiaoyao asked indifferently. The dragon human race's ancestor looked dejected. At this point, what else could he do? If he didn't submit, he would die. If he submitted, he could at least live. The longer he lived and the higher his cultivation, the more he cherished his life and the more he was afraid of death. We submit. When the dragon human race's ancestor said this, he seemed to have aged many years in an instant. Seeing the dragon human race's supreme ancestor submit, the surrounding immortal ancient races felt a sense of sadness. In an instant, they seemed to have lost all hope. Not only did they lose their freedom, but even their lives were now in the hands of others. Haha, you don't have to be dejected. If you can't leave the immortal ancient world, then what's the use of the Son of God asking you to submit? Jun Xiaoyao laughed and shook his head. As soon as these words came out, the dragon human race's ancestors' eyes widened. They were brighter than copper bells. His breathing quickened, and his heart was in his throat. It was hard to imagine that a powerful, great heavenly venerate expert would lose his composure like this. This was enough to show how nervous and agitated the dragon human race's ancestor was. The will of the Son of God is the will of the immortal ancient world. Since I can kill you, I can naturally set you free, Jun Xiaoyao said. At this moment, all the creatures of the immortal ancient held their breaths. I didn't hear wrong, did I? We actually have a chance to leave? Heavens, we can go to the world outside the immortal ancient world. I'm dreaming, it must be. All the creatures of the immortal ancient went crazy at this moment. Even the dragon human race's ancestor lost his composure. He couldn't help but flash in front of Jun Xiaoyao and ask excitedly, "May I ask if what the Son of God said is true? We can leave the immortal ancient world." Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly and said, "Now, you could try to leave the ancestral land." The dragon human race's ancestor suppressed his excitement and slowly came to the edge of the ancestral land. Previously, due to the rules of the immortal ancient world, the experts couldn't leave the ancestral land. But at this moment, the dragon human race's ancestor took a step forward and left the ancestral land. It's true. It's actually true. The dragon human race's ancestor couldn't help but laugh excitedly. How long had he been waiting for this day? He had the terrifying cultivation of a great heavenly venerate, but he couldn't use it. This feeling was too unbearable. But now, Jun Xiaoyao had the ability to give him freedom. You're already so happy after just leaving the ancestral land. What if I say that I can let you all leave the immortal ancient world and go to the wider immortal domain? Jun Xiaoyao said with a smile. All the creatures of the immortal ancient felt like their minds were about to explode. This feeling was like a prisoner in despair, suddenly having the hope of freedom. Lord Son of God, no. Master, this old man is Ao Tsang Yuan. I am willing to lead the entire dragon human race to submit to Master. The dragon human race's ancestor, Ao Tsang Yuan, a dignified, great heavenly venerate expert, directly bowed 90 degrees to Jun Xiaoyao. His attitude was extremely sincere, and his eyes were burning with passion. Whoever could give him freedom would be his father. Chapter 490. Ao Tsang Yuan and the other ancestors have been trapped in the immortal ancient world for countless years. It could be said that they were in complete despair. They were even more miserable than the other creatures of the immortal ancient world. They couldn't even leave their ancestral land. Freedom was an absolute luxury. But now, not only did Jun Xiaoyao allow them to leave their ancestral land, but he also promised to let them leave the immortal ancient world. Only a fool would refuse Jun Xiaoyao's request. What dignity! Compared to freedom, it was nothing. If Ao Tsang Yuan had to kowtow 100 times to Jun Xiaoyao, he would probably be more than happy to do it. It wasn't that Ao Tsang Yuan didn't have the dignity of a grand empyrean, but that he desired freedom too much. Cultivation, in essence, was also the pursuit of a kind of transcendence and freedom. That's right. This Son of God likes smart and sensible people. If you had done this earlier, then there wouldn't have been any problems. Jun Xiaoyao smiled. Of course. It was Ao, Ming, Ao Guang, and the others who were blind and offended, Master. Ao Tsang Yuan smiled apologetically. Since you've agreed, then I'll use the immortal ancient world's laws to form a slave imprint and plant it in your Yuan spirits. You don't have any objections, right? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Jun Xiaoyao naturally wouldn't be so naive to believe them. Planting a slave imprint was necessary. Ao Tsang Yuan and the other Dragon Man elders' expressions changed slightly. Planting a slave imprint meant becoming a complete slave. Their every action, even their thoughts, will be sensed by Jun Xiaoyao. At that time, if they had any evil intentions, Jun Xiaoyao would be able to sense them. But compared to being prisoners, they were more willing to be slaves with freedom. We're willing, said Ao Tsang Yuan. Good. Jun Xiaoyao nodded. Now, go and reorganize your clansmen. Jun Xiaoyao turned to the other races of the immortal ancient world. There's also the three-eyed sacred race, the ancient witch race, and the other races. If you're willing to submit, come to the beauty race's ancestral land in 3 days. After saying that, Jun Xiaoyao flicked his sleeves and took a step forward, arriving in front of Li Qiuyue and the other heavenly prides of the beauty tribe. Li Qiuyue blushed slightly when she saw the man she had been yearning for day and night standing right in front of her. Lord Son of God, Li Qiuyue said softly. You and Li Qiushui, Jun Xiaoyao said. She's my elder sister, Li Qiuyue replied. So that's how it is. You don't mind if I go to the beauty race as a guest, right? Jun Xiaoyao smiled. Of course I don't mind. It is our beauty tribe's honor to have Lord Son of God as a guest, Li Qiuyue hurriedly replied. Please lead the way, miss, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. Li Qiuyue nodded her head, her heart thumping wildly as she led Jun Xiaoyao to the beauty tribe. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao leave, all the creatures of Immortal Ancient let out a sigh of relief. Their eyes were still filled with fear and shock. Jun Xiaoyao's strength had not only risen to the saint realm, but he could also kill saints with ease. By relying on the power of the immortal ancient world's laws, even the little heavenly lord had fallen at his hands. This had completely overturned their worldview and imagination. However, when they thought of the possibility of leaving the immortal ancient world, the creatures of Immortal Ancient became excited again. I never knew what the world outside the immortal ancient world was like. We can finally leave this cage. This is great. These creatures of Immortal Ancient had been hostile towards Jun Xiaoyao before, but now, Jun Xiaoyao had become their savior. Hurry up and reorganize the clansmen. We can't miss this opportunity. Ao Tsang Yuan also moved. When he thought of finally being able to leave the immortal ancient world and obtain freedom, he couldn't suppress the excitement in his heart. On the other side, not long after, Jun Xiaoyao also arrived at the beauty race's ancestral land. Sensing the auras of Li Qiuyue and the others, the Dawn Immortal appeared. Her hair was tied up in clouds, and she was dressed in palace attire, looking graceful and luxurious. The pressure she faintly emitted caused the surrounding space to tremble. When she saw the person beside Li Qiu, even the Dawn Immortal was stunned for a moment before she reacted. It's you, Jun family son of God. Lord Son of God, this is our beauty race's true ancestor, the Dawn Immortal, Li Qiuyue introduced. Greetings, Senior Dawn Immortal. Jun Xiaoyao nodded slightly in greeting. His relationship with the beauty race was not bad, so his attitude naturally couldn't be the same as his attitude towards the Dragon Man race. Moreover, Jun Xiaoyao still had plans to get the beauty race to help him reorganize the clansmen of Immortal Ancient. Since he was going to put them in an important position, his attitude naturally had to be a little better. You're the Jun family's son of God. Seeing is believing. I've always heard Qiu Shui and Qiu Yue praise you. Now that I see you, you really are a dragon among men. The Dawn Immortal sighed slightly. She could sense that Jun Xiaoyao's realm had actually reached the saint realm. Such a young saint was simply unheard of. His future was definitely limitless, so the Dawn Immortal's attitude was quite modest. Senior Dawn Immortal is too kind. I've disturbed you today because I have an important matter, Jun Xiaoyao said. Oh, what is it? Asked the Dawn Immortal. Her current attitude was like that of a senior looking at a junior she admired. However, when Li Qiuyue saw this scene, her expression became a bit unnatural. After all, Jun Xiaoyao had just casually killed a lesser, heavenly venerable expert. Moreover, with Jun Xiaoyao's ability, if he wanted to kill the Dawn Immortal, it would only take a flick of his finger. Thinking of this, Li Qiuyue also secretly moved closer to the Dawn Immortal and secretly used her divine sense to tell the Dawn Immortal everything that had happened. Jun Xiaoyao saw this scene. His expression didn't change, but he was inwardly laughing. It wasn't appropriate for him to personally say such things. It was most appropriate for him to say it through Li Qiuyue's mouth. After hearing that Jun Xiaoyao had become the will of the immortal ancient world and could use the power of the immortal ancient rules to kill any immortal ancient creature, the Dawn Immortal's expression changed when she looked at Jun Xiaoyao. I didn't expect young Master Jun to have such an opportunity. It seems that I have been blind. The Dawn Immortal bowed to Jun Xiaoyao. She no longer had the attitude of a senior looking at a junior. Her beautiful eyes were filled with seriousness, reverence, and desire, because Jun Xiaoyao had the ability to give them freedom. Senior Dawn Immortal, you don't have to be like this. Actually, I have an idea. I want to use the immortal ancient races as a foundation to establish a force. I hope that Senior Dawn Immortal and the Beauty race can help me reorganize and control the immortal ancient races. Jun Xiaoyao's words were tactful, but to put it simply, that was, you will help me manage these people, and you will be under my management. The Dawn Immortal was also an old fox who had lived for countless years. She naturally knew what Jun Xiaoyao meant, because the Beauty race's relationship with Jun Xiaoyao was quite good. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't directly say that he wanted them to submit to him as slaves. But that was his intention. He just changed the euphemism to give the Beauty race some face. The Dawn Immortal wasn't an ignorant person. She smiled and said, "Of course, young Master Jun can give us freedom. That is the greatest favor to us." Good. In a few days, if the other immortal ancient races are tactful, they will all come. At that time, we will reorganize, Jun Xiaoyao said. Li Xian understands. The Dawn Immortal nodded slightly. Her attitude was very humble. She had already recognized the reality. It seems that the Jun family son of God is ambitious. He actually wants to establish his own force. Is he playing a big game of chess? But it doesn't matter. My race has been trapped in the immortal ancient world for too long. This opportunity to regain freedom must not be missed. The Dawn Immortal's eyes were firm as she thought to herself. Chapter 491. In fact, Jun Xiaoyao's actions were actually beneficial to the Beauty Clan. Not only would the Beauty Clan gain freedom, but they would also gain the authority to manage the immortal ancient races. In the past, the Dragon Human Clan was the leader of the four great clans. Now, after Jun Xiaoyao was done with the reorganization, the Beauty Clan would undoubtedly become the leader of the immortal ancient races. Therefore, Li Xian had no reason to refuse. Instead, she was happy to manage the clan for Jun Xiaoyao. Qiuyue, take young Master Jun to rest first, Li Xian said and gave Li Qiuyue a look. If Li Qiuyue could develop with Jun Xiaoyao, it would be better for the Beauty Clan. Li Qiuyue blushed, but she still nodded. Her little heart was pounding as she took Jun Xiaoyao to rest. He didn't die after entering the Bronze Immortal Palace, and even became a saint. Young Master Jun's future is extraordinary. Following him might be an opportunity for the Beauty Clan, Li Xian muttered to herself. She vaguely felt that the decision she made today was probably the wisest and most correct one. As a commotion caused by Jun Xiaoyao in the ancestral land of the Dragon Human Clan spread, all the creatures in the immortal ancient world were extremely shocked. The son of God of the Jun family has become the will of the immortal ancient world. He also killed the heavenly venerable ancestor of the Dragon Human Clan, Ao Tianming. Even Ao Tsongyuan was willing to bow down and call him master. The son of God of the Jun family has the ability to lead us out of the immortal ancient world. One by one, the news spread everywhere as if it had grown wings. Many ancestors of the immortal ancient races were shocked when they heard the news. Then they began to consider, However, it didn't take long for almost all the ancestors of the immortal ancient races to come to a decision. They would submit to Jun Xiaoyao. Other than that, there was no other way. Even the ancestor of the dragon-human clan, Ao Songyuan, had submitted to him. The four great immortal ancient races were the leaders of all the races. Now, that even the leaders were willing to submit, what reason did they have to resist? Moreover, it was useless to resist. They would only be throwing away their lives. If they submitted, they would have the opportunity to leave the immortal ancient world. This was a temptation that none of the immortal ancient clans could resist. The patriarchs of many races could no longer hold themselves back. They tried to leave the ancestral land and were pleasantly surprised to find that they could leave. This was because Jun Xiaoyao had slightly changed the rules of the immortal ancient world, allowing these experts to leave the ancestral land. We can really leave the ancestral land. The son of God of the Jun family didn't lie to us. Correct. He can lead us out of immortal ancient. Now, all of the immortal ancient races were completely convinced. They began to reorganize their clansmen and began to send leaders to the Beauty Tribe's ancestral land. On the other side of the Beauty Tribe, Jun Xiaoyao was comfortably bathing in a spirit chi hot spring. This was one of Jun Xiaoyao's few hobbies. Jun Xiaoyao realized that he had not been so relaxed in a long time. From eternal burial earth to immortal ancient world, he didn't rest at all. Li Chiyue, on the other hand, was kneeling beside him. Her face was flushed red as she massaged his shoulders with her soft hands. It smells so good. Li Chiyue stayed beside Jun Xiaoyao and sniffed. She was infatuated with him. This fragrance was emitted from Jun Xiaoyao's body. Jun Xiaoyao's body had been tempered by the myriad qi and was flawless. It emitted a natural fragrance. If some peerless, ferocious beast smelled this fragrance, they would probably go crazy and want to devour Jun Xiaoyao. However, Li Chiyue only felt intoxicated. You didn't leave immortal ancient with your sister? Jun Xiaoyao asked casually. Young master, Chiyue's talent is limited. Even if I go out, I won't be able to help my sister. So, I might as well stay in immortal ancient. Li Chiyue hurriedly replied. I see. Don't worry. You will be able to meet your sister soon. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. This is all thanks to you. Li Chiyue smiled shyly. While Jun Xiaoyao gave off a cold and aloof vibe, he was as gentle as a gentleman when it came to talking. What a perfect person. Li Chiyue sighed. She didn't expect to be favored by Jun Xiaoyao. Li Chiyue would be satisfied as long as she could stay with him occasionally and massage his shoulders and legs like now. Jun Xiaoyao closed his eyes and began to think about what to do next. If nothing unexpected happened, these immortal ancient races should know their limits and know what choice they should make. Speaking of which, I wonder how the immortal domain is now. Jun Xiaoyao thought. After he finished reorganizing the immortal ancient races, he was ready to return to the Jun family and then go to Emperor's Road. By the way, I'm also 18 years old. I wonder if the family will hold a coming-of-age ceremony for me. Also, the 18th ancestor told me about my father and some of the family secrets. It should be time for him to tell me. Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. However, he would have to wait until he returned to the Jun family. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. All the immortal ancient races gathered at the Beauty Tribe's ancestral land. Leading them were the 3 great immortal ancient races. The Dragonman race was led by Ao Songyuan. The ancient witch race was led by a witch king of the great heavenly venerate level. The 3-eyed sacred race was the same. They more or less had some friction with Jun Xiaoyao before, but now there was only respect and excitement in their eyes. On a cliff in the Beauty Tribe's ancestral land, Jun Xiaoyao, Li Xian, Li Chiyue, and the others appeared. Looking at the endless group of immortal ancient races at the bottom of the cliff, Li Chiyue's beautiful eyes widened in shock. This was a rare sight in the immortal ancient. All the immortal ancient races gathered together. That kind of power shook heaven and earth. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was as calm as water. Born in a clan of the ancients, he had seen all kinds of big scenes. Therefore, Jun Xiaoyao was very calm. Even so, he was still a little surprised by the power that had been gathered. This power was already very terrifying. It was enough to start an immortal war with other immortal forces. Jun Xiaoyao slowly stepped forward, looked around, and said, "It seems that you are all smart people. I, the Son of God, won't talk too much. I, the Son of God, want to establish a force, and you can all be considered the first batch of elders. If you sincerely submit to me, the Son of God, and work for me, the Son of God, you will get a broad and bright future. However, if you harbor evil intentions and conspire against me," Jun Xiaoyao paused. The color of the heavens and earth immediately changed as thunder rumbled. Chains of order appeared like lightning with an intimidating aura. Jun Xiaoyao was the will of the immortal ancient world. If he was angry, the immortal ancient world would be angry too. At that instant, Jun Xiaoyao's icy intent poured down like the wrath of the heavens. Every living thing in the immortal ancient world trembled in fear that originated from their souls. Looking at the pale faces, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flickered as he collected his emotions. The heavens and earth instantly became clear, as if everything that happened before was just an illusion. Of course, to return the favor, if you're loyal to me, the Son of God, I, the Son of God, will grant you power and freedom. I will let your names spread across the 9 heavens, immortal realm together with my Son of God's force. Lastly, I hope you all remember one thing. Jun Xiaoyao paused for a second before he waved his sleeves and said in a bold tone, "The one you are following is a future martial monarch." Chapter 492. Jun Xiaoyao's words were like a huge rock falling into the sea, setting off huge waves. Everyone was shocked. They will be following a future great emperor. If these words came from the mouths of other geniuses, they would only find it laughable. But when it came from Jun Xiaoyao's mouth, no one dared to refute. Could ordinary geniuses have Jun Xiaoyao's invincible aura? Could ordinary geniuses escape from the bronze immortal palace, one of the 7 inconceivable wonders? Could ordinary geniuses become saints at this age? It was completely impossible. Only Jun Xiaoyao could create such a miracle. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao's heroic spirit was undoubtedly deeply imprinted in the hearts of every immortal ancient creature. We will pledge our lives to follow Master's footsteps. Ao Tsang Yuan was the first to shout. Immediately after, all of the creatures of immortal ancient began to shout loudly, praising Jun Xiaoyao's name. Seeing this, Jun Xiaoyao revealed a faint smile. This was the effect he wanted. Jun Xiaoyao did not need obedient slaves. What he needed were people who could truly work for him loyally. Don't worry, this Son of God will not treat you unfairly. You will soon be able to leave the immortal ancient world. Before that, those whose cultivation is above the sage-to-be realm are qualified to enter the bronze immortal palace to cultivate, Jun Xiaoyao said. When these words came out, everyone was stunned. Some did not understand the meaning behind Jun Xiaoyao's words. Seeing this, Jun Xiaoyao slowly raised his head and looked at the sky. All the immortal ancient creatures also looked at the sky with Jun Xiaoyao. Then, they saw a majestic bronze immortal palace that looked like an ancient mountain. It broke through the air and floated in the void. The entire bronze immortal palace was filled with an ancient and vicissitude aura, as if it had crossed the river of time. That is the bronze immortal palace. All the immortal ancient creatures' minds exploded. Why would the bronze immortal palace appear here again? The gazes of many immortal ancient creatures all turned towards Jun Xiaoyao. Looking at Jun Xiaoyao's confident expression, they suddenly had an idea. Could it be that Jun Xiaoyao didn't escape from the bronze immortal hall, but had taken control of it? Hiss! When they thought of this possibility, the hearts of many beings trembled violently. That was the bronze immortal palace, an ominous place where even supreme beings could die, yet Jun Xiaoyao was actually able to control it. For a moment, Jun Xiaoyao became even more unfathomable in their eyes. What was different from ordinary immortal ancient creatures was that the Dawn Immortal, Ao Tsang Yuan, and other top experts could feel that there were several auras that made them feel incomparable fear hidden within the Bronze Immortal Palace. There are living creatures in the green Bronze Immortal Palace. And from the looks of it, could it have obeyed young Master June's orders? The Dawn Immortal's heart was filled with overwhelming shock. June Xiaoyao's methods were truly beyond her expectations. Ao Songyuan felt incomparably fortunate. Fortunately, I submitted to Master. Otherwise, putting aside the immortal ancient rules, just the aura within the Bronze Immortal Palace is enough to threaten my life. With the appearance of the Bronze Immortal Palace, all the immortal ancient creatures no longer had any other thoughts and wholeheartedly followed Jun Xiaoyao. Seeing this, Jun Xiaoyao felt that the reorganization was about done. He raised his hand, and countless immortal ancient rules appeared in the void. Then, they condensed into slave seals. Even supreme beings like Ao Songyuan could not remove these slave seals. Ao Songyuan and the others also obediently let the slave seals be planted into their primordial spirits. The Dawn Immortal and the others of the beauty race were also planted with slave seals. The Dawn Immortal and the others did not mind. In public, they had to treat everyone equally. Jun Xiaoyao also could not be biased towards the beauty race. After Jun Xiaoyao planted slave seals in all the immortal ancient creatures, Jun Xiaoyao finally heaved a sigh of relief. After using carrots and sticks, using both kindness and power, Jun Xiaoyao finally completely controlled the forces of the immortal ancient races. To put it bluntly, this force combined was enough to start an immortal war. It's about time. It's time to return to the family. I wonder if I still have to hold my 18th coming-of-age ceremony. All right, when the time comes, I still have to transcend the sage tribulation. Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. At this point, the matter of the immortal ancient world was completely over. Next, some experts of the immortal ancient world would enter the Bronze Immortal Palace to cultivate. The Bronze Immortal Palace was now completely Jun Xiaoyao's private property. The spirit qi in the Bronze Immortal Palace was not weaker than that of the immortal ancient world. As for the rest of the immortal ancient creatures, Jun Xiaoyao ordered them to explore all kinds of hidden opportunities. All of the treasures that were unearthed would serve as the foundation for Jun Xiaoyao to build his forces. The beauty race became the manager of the immortal ancient race, managing the order of the entire immortal ancient race. Everything seemed to be in order. The Dawn Immortal, Ao Songyuan, and other supreme old ancestor-level experts also entered the Bronze Immortal Palace. These supreme old ancestors were like country bumpkins entering the city. They looked at the Bronze Immortal Palace with amazement and amazement. An old blind man and the others did not appear for the time being. Obviously, they were not interested in dealing with these immortal ancient experts. Jun Xiaoyao also confirmed that the Bronze Immortal Palace would become a mobile fortress of his force. The space inside was stacked, and it could easily accommodate 100,000 people. After everything was settled, Jun Xiaoyao also left and prepared to return to the Jun family. Just as Jun Xiaoyao finished his trip to the Immortal Ancient. In the entire Huangtian mystic realm, waves were surging in the dark, as if a storm was coming. Ever since the news of the reincarnation demon sect's treasure vault spread, the entire Huangtian mystic realm had not been peaceful. The treasure vault of an immortal force was very tempting. If any immortal force could get their hands on this treasure vault, their strength would undoubtedly skyrocket. However, the key to finding and opening the treasure vault of the reincarnation demon sect was with the Jun family. The son of the reincarnation demon sect, Wang Chuan, was the only one who could find and open the treasure vault of the reincarnation demon sect. Naturally, the Jun family was pushed to the forefront of the storm. At the same time, the news that the Jun family was going to hold a coming-of-age ceremony for Jun Xiaoyao had spread. Many other powers had also received invitations to the event. This proved that the Jun family was not joking. They were really going to hold a coming-of-age ceremony for the son of God of the Jun family, who had passed away. Of course, there were also people who thought that Jun Xiaoyao might not be dead. However, those who thought so were few. This was because the ferocious name of the bronze immortal palace had been deeply imprinted in everyone's mind. How could Jun Xiaoyao have survived a place where even supreme beings could be killed? Just as everyone was speculating, the day of the Jun family's coming-of-age ceremony finally arrived. Countless forces gathered at the Jun family in the Emperor's state, like rivers flowing into the sea. Many forces had ulterior motives. They were not there to watch the coming-of-age ceremony without the main character. Instead, they wanted to know if the forces that were hostile to the Jun family would make any moves. Just as the day of the coming-of-age ceremony arrived, creatures stepped out of Zulong, Wanhuang Spirit Mountain, Qilin Ancient Cave, and other places. They looked in the direction of the Jun family in the Emperor's state, and their eyes burned with flames. It's time to give the Jun family a big gift. Chapter 493. In the Emperor's state, where the Jun family was located. At this moment, there was a sea of people. Carriages and teams from all over had gathered. Ancient beasts covered the sky with their wings, dragon horses neighed, and golden chariots flew across the sky. Since the opening of the Emperor Road, many geniuses had embarked on their journey. The entire Huangtian mystic realm had rarely been so lively. The Daoji heavenly sect has arrived. A master of ceremonies from the Jun family shouted. A hale and hearty old man led a group of people. It was the old Taoist from the Daoji heavenly sect. The old Taoist spirit was far better than before. Obviously, the recovery of spiritual qi in the mystic realm had also benefited him. However, at this moment, the old Taoist's eyes were filled with a hint of complexity. He muttered to himself, "Back then, the son of God of the Jun family was so high-spirited. As soon as he was born, he suppressed the supreme demonic corpse and rose like a sun. His name spread far and wide. But now, the old Taoist sighed in his heart. However, he didn't think that Jun Xiaoyao would die so easily. Perhaps he was still undergoing some kind of training. The princess of the great Shang dynasty has arrived. As soon as the voice fell, the princess of the great Shang dynasty arrived. She had attended Jun Xiaoyao's 10-years-old banquet. Now that she was here again, she was still as beautiful as before. However, her face was pale and haggard. Many people around saw this scene and whispered to each other. The princess of the great Shang dynasty fell in love with the son of God once she met him. Until now, I don't know how many young men have proposed to her. Yeah, this princess heard that the son of God of the Jun family had fallen in the bronze divine palace. She shut herself in for 7 days and looked haggard because of him. Sigh, the most infuriating thing is that the son of God of the Jun family doesn't even know the name of the princess of the great Shang dynasty. Such a beauty is just a passerby. The son of God of the Jun family is really a sinful man. He has let down so many beauties. Many male cultivators around were lamenting. Jun Xiaoyao fell in the bronze divine palace alone, but thousands of girls in the mystic realm were sad and haggard. They didn't want to eat or drink. He was a sinful man. The princess of the great Shang ignored the gossip around her and merely muttered to herself in her heart, "Lord Son of God, I once went to your 10-years-old banquet. Now that you're an adult at the age of 18, I don't see you back." The princess of Great Shang was not the only one who was sad for Jun Xiaoyao. In another direction, a group of people arrived. The one in the lead was a woman wearing a red feather dress. She had a slim figure, long legs, and snow-white skin. Her long red hair was as bright as flames, and there was a depth of killing intent between her eyebrows. Her face was as beautiful as a peach. She was none other than the princess of the ancient kingdom of Phoenix, by Yu. However, the ancient kingdom of Vermilion Bird had merged with the other 3 ancient kingdoms to form the 4 Symbols Ancient Kingdom. Bai Yu was the empress of the 4 Symbols Ancient Kingdom. She did not go to Emperor Road. Bai Yu's talent was indeed extraordinary. However, in a place like Emperor Road, where geniuses were everywhere, Bai Yu's strength was still insufficient. She gave up and focused on managing the 4 Symbols Ancient Kingdom for Jun Xiaoyao. "Master, Yu believes that you'll be fine," Bai Yu muttered softly. She was a fanatical fan of Jun Xiaoyao. She would never believe that Jun Xiaoyao had fallen just like that. Other than that, Jun Linglong, Jun Ing-er, and Nailan Rawashi did not go to Emperor Road either. Their foundations were still too shallow. Going to a place like Emperor Road would be suicide. It was better for them to stay in the Jun family and cultivate peacefully. After that, people from the Holy Spirit College, the Celestial Demon Cult, the Ji family, the Yi family, and other immortal forces also arrived. However, the top Sky Prides did not come. They had already gone to Emperor Road. The ones who came were the elders. Seeing that most of the guests had arrived, Jun Jiantian and the others finally showed up. Whether it was Jun Jiantian or Jiang Ro, there was no sign of sadness on their faces. Previously, they did not believe that Jun Xiaoyao had fallen. Later, they learned from the Grand Elder that Jun Xiaoyao was still alive. Therefore, Jun Jiantian was very relaxed. In fact, he was looking forward to Jun Xiaoyao's return. He would definitely bring a big surprise to the Jun family. It's a pity that I won't be able to attend your coming-of-age ceremony, Jun Jiantian sighed. This was the only thing he felt regretful about. Everyone, thank you for coming to my grandson's coming-of-age ceremony. Although he's not here, I believe that he'll be back soon, Jun Jiantian said loudly. Many people revealed bewildered expressions when they heard those words. Could it be that the Jun family son of God is still alive? Who knows? Could it be that the Jun family is too sad and is lying to themselves? Some of the people from the forces had doubts. However, they only muttered in their hearts and did not dare to say it out loud. That's right, that's right. The Jun family son of God has the bearing of a great emperor. How could he fall so easily? That's right. There's no way a place like the Bronze Immortal Palace could keep the son of God. Many forces began to flatter the Jun family. Jun Jiantian and the others were also happy to accept it. However, at this moment, 3 figures appeared in the distant sky. At the same time, a voice exploded in the void. Jun family, stop lying to yourselves. Hearing this, all the guests from the forces present were dumbfounded. It was as if thunder had exploded in their heads. Who's talking? Is he crazy? This is the Jun family. Who dares to be so presumptuous? Many people looked over. The 3 figures were none other than the 3 sages. Although the saints are strong, they're just ants in front of the Jun family of the ancients. They seem to be from the far ancient royal family. The 3 saints were from the Demon Ox Mountain, the Cave of Silken Silk, and the Snake King Valley. Coincidentally, the 3 far ancient royal families were all vassals of the Zulon dynasty. For a moment, the eyes of many leaders and elders of the forces flickered. Was the scene that they had guessed about to happen? I don't think you're on the Jun family's banquet list, Jun Jiantian said lightly. He seemed to have expected this. His old face was calm, and he was not angry. Why should he be angry at someone who was destined to die? Haha, although you didn't invite us, we came today with gifts. The Golden Horn Saint of the Demon Ox Mountain smiled coldly. The saint of the Cave of the Coiling Silk was a beautiful woman called the Black Spider Queen. She smiled seductively and waved her jade-like hand. Suddenly, there was a clang. A bell fell to the ground. Today is the coming-of-age ceremony. We're sending the son of God of the Jun family to his death. The Sky Snake Saint of the Snake, King Valley, said coldly. The geniuses of the 3 far ancient royal families were also killed by Jun Xiaoyao in the immortal ancient world. Naturally, there was a great hatred between them. However, when they saw this scene, the guests all took a deep breath. Crazy. These 3 saints were courting death. Even if they wanted to die, this was not the right way to do it. Seeing this, Jun Jiantian smiled coldly and said, Today is Xiaoyao's coming-of-age ceremony. It's not appropriate to see blood, but since you're courting death, there's nothing we can do about it. Jun Jiantian reached out his hand. Countless Tao patterns intertwined in the void and were about to kill the 3 saints. At this moment, a vast aura arose from the distant sky. A dragon's claw stretched across the sky and collided with Jun Jiantian's move. Its aura had reached the level of a quasi-supreme. Is the scene from the Son of God's 10-years-old banquet going to happen again? All the forces widened their eyes. They had a feeling that a great conflict was about to happen. Chapter 494. The hatred between the Jun family and the Archean royalty had been accumulating for generations. In this life, it had reached the extreme. In the immortal ancient world, many Archean royalty elites have been killed by Jun Xiaoyao and other sequence alchemists. It could be said that their hatred had reached a level where they would fight to the death. However, the impact of the immortal battle was too great. Even Zulong and other forces had to think carefully and wait for the right time. They didn't dare to rashly start a war. But now, seeing this scene, the big figures of many forces were shocked. The Archean royalty finally couldn't help but make a move. Oh, Jun Jiantian wasn't too surprised that his move was blocked. If these three saints of the far ancient royal families didn't have anyone behind them, how would they dare to come to the Jun family? In the sky, clouds rolled, and a middle-aged man in a golden robe descended with the power of a quasi-supreme. It's Zulong Supreme Long Can. Seeing this figure, someone whispered. He was a rather famous quasi-supreme in the lair of Zulong. Although he was not as powerful as the great ancestor, he was still one of the newly risen experts in the lair of Zulong over the past 10,000 years. Seeing the arrival of Supreme Long Can, Jun Jiantian and the other elders looked indifferent. It seems that you Zulong forgot the pain after the scar healed. Have you forgotten about Supreme Yulong, who died in front of the Jun family's mountain gate during the 10 years banquet? Jun Jiantian said indifferently. Hearing this, Supreme Long Can's eyes flashed coldly. Not only did Supreme Yulong die in the Jun family, but his body was also eaten as food. This was a shame and stain that Zulong couldn't erase. However, this time, he was ordered to come, and he had confidence in his heart, so he naturally wasn't afraid of anything. Jun Jiantian continued, "Since you're already here, just show yourselves. Why hide?" Hearing Jun Jiantian's words, everyone was shocked. Could it be that Zulong wasn't the only one who sent people? In another direction, fiery clouds filled the sky, and the quasi-supreme of Wanhuang's spirit mountain appeared. In the east, a purple cloud filled the air, and a middle-aged man with a frosty face came over on a purple cloud. It was the Qilin Sun's father, Zilin Cave Lord. Apart from this, a half-supreme being also arrived at the ancient alligator lake. It was a vicious alligator that didn't transform into human form, instead maintaining its alligator form. Fiendish energy overflowed into the heavens, making heaven and earth change colors. Heavens, the 10,000 Phoenix Spirit Mountain, Qilin Ancient Cave, and Ancient Crocodile Lake Pseudo-Supremes have all come. Is the world going to change? The people from all the forces present could no longer sit still. This was the prelude to a great change. The elders of the Jun family only sneer when they saw this scene. Their expressions were extremely calm, as if they were looking at a dead man. The Jun family's prestige wasn't something that anyone could challenge. At the very least, from the moment they appeared, the outcome was already decided. Are you in a hurry to reincarnate by coming to my Jun residence today? Jun Jiantian asked indifferently. The eyes of Supreme Long Can and the others flickered coldly upon hearing this. However, it was not the end yet. The immortal battle was the last resort. At least for now, they still had to make a request first. We came here for no other purpose. We just want to ask the Jun family for an insignificant person, Supreme Long Can said. Jun Jiantian glanced at him from the corner of his eyes and didn't say anything. Supreme Long Can said indifferently, "That person is called Wang Chuan." As soon as he finished speaking, everyone held their breaths. Wang Chuan could be said to be the genius that was mentioned the most in the Huangtian mystic realm recently. The reason for this was none other than his identity as the son of the demon sect of Samsara. It could be said that whoever could get Wang Chuan would be able to get the treasure vault of the demon sect of Samsara. It seems that the Archean royalty doesn't want the Jun family to get the treasure vault of the demon sect of Samsara. Isn't that nonsense? The Jun family's foundation is already unfathomable. If they get the treasure vault of the demon sect of Samsara, how terrible would it be? Many people were communicating with each other through divine consciousness. Many people were also very curious about what choice the Jun family would make. If they handed over Wang Chuan, it would be equivalent to handing over the treasure vault of the demon sect of Samsara. If they didn't hand it over, they would be suppressed by the Archean royalty of the four branches. Even if it was an immortal force, it would be very dangerous when facing a force of the same level. Although the June family was the top immortal force, one of the three imperial families of the Huangtian mystic realm. But after all, they were facing the Archean royalty of the four branches. It was impossible to say that they didn't feel any pressure at all. Everyone held their breaths, waiting for Jun Zhantian and the others to make a choice. At this time, Jun Zhantian spoke and asked someone to call Wang Chuan out. Is the Jun family going to give in? Seeing this, many elders of the forces were surprised. The Jun family's domineering nature was deeply rooted in people's hearts. If the Huangtian mystic realm had any treasures, if the Jun family took it, no one else would be able to get anything. If someone provoked the Jun family would never back down. Was the Jun family, who had always been domineering, afraid this time? Just as everyone was puzzled, Wang Chuan appeared. Jun Zhantian asked, Wang Chuan, someone wants to take you away and make you leave the Jun family. What's your choice? Hearing this, Wang Chuan didn't hesitate at all and said, I, Wang Chuan, only have one master, and that is the son of God of the Jun family. Wherever he is, I will be there. What a joke. It was impossible for Wang Chuan to betray him. Not to mention that he still had the slave mark planted in his mind by Jun Xiaoyao. Even the Jun family treated Wang Chuan, the saint of reincarnation, as a member of the sequence. Unless Wang Chuan's brain was fried, he would not betray the Jun family. If you're not deaf, you should have heard it, Jun Zhantian said. It was only now that everyone understood that the Jun family had fooled Supreme Long, Can, and the others. Supreme Long, Can, and the others' faces were as gloomy as water. How could they not understand that they had been fooled by the Jun family? Seeing this, the Golden Horn Saint of the Demonic Bull Mountain shouted coldly, He's just a dead man, and you still recognize him as your master. You are really loyal. His words were very harsh to the ears. How dare you? Wang Chuan shouted coldly. Bai Yu Jun Linglong, Juning Nalan Ruashi, and the other girls also glared at him with anger in their eyes. They firmly believed that there was no way Jun Xiaoyao would have died. The Golden Horn Saint had stepped on a landmine. Jun Zhantian and the other elders' eyes were cold, and they were about to attack again. Even if there were 4 quasi-supremes protecting him, they still wanted to kill this foul-mouthed saint. However, at this moment, a spatial crack suddenly appeared in the sky above. The void shook, and tens of thousands of beams of divine light filled the sky. In the midst of the endless light, a young figure arrived like an immortal. When sensing the movement in the sky, all the cultivators of the forces present subconsciously raised their heads to look. The figure that tore through the void and arrived was wrapped in endless holy light. He was like a young deity, high and mighty, untainted by dust. When the figure appeared, everyone stopped breathing in an instant. That person is... Many cultivators were tongue-tied, and they were so shocked that they could not speak. Jun Zhantian, Jiang Ro, and the others sensed the familiar aura, and their eyes were filled with joy. Jun Linglong, Juning Nalan Ruashi, Bai Yu Wang Chuan, and the others also sensed the aura. Their bodies trembled, and they were unprecedentedly excited. He's here, he's here. Leisurely literature, let the soul travel. Chapter 495. In the endless light, Jun Xiaoyao's figure emerged. His white robe was flawless, and his celestial aura was surging. His handsome face was as calm as water. Jun Xiaoyao had arrived. When Jun Xiaoyao's appearance was completely revealed, the audience burst into an unparalleled uproar. Many people were so shocked that their eyeballs almost popped out. It's really the son of God of the Jun family. He actually came out of the Bronze Immortal Palace safe and sound. Long Outyin and Wang Tung both died in there, but he came out safe and sound. Amazing, the son of God of the Jun family can actually come out of the Bronze Immortal Palace, a place where even supreme martial artists can die. Shocking, stunned, scalp tingling. Jun Xiaoyao had created another miracle. He came out of the Bronze Immortal Palace, one of the 7 incredible places. This was something that no one in the younger generation could do. Haha, my grandson is back. Jun Jiantian looked up to the sky and laughed. All of his depression dissipated. He used to think that it was a pity that Jun Xiaoyao couldn't come back to attend the coming-of-age ceremony. Now, all of his regrets were made up. Xiaoyao, Jiang Ro's heart that was hanging in the air, was now completely at ease. Although she knew that Jun Xiaoyao should be fine, she was still worried when she didn't see him in person. Now, she could finally breathe a sigh of relief. As for Jun Linglong, Juning, Nalan Ruashi, and the other girls, their eyes were full of deep longing and admiration. Only their son of God could create miracles again and again. The princess of the great Shang dynasty was so excited that her delicate body trembled slightly, and her eyes were red. In short, Jun Xiaoyao's appearance made the audience boil, and the atmosphere rose to the extreme. However, because Jun Xiaoyao's appearance was too sudden and shocking, the crowd didn't pay attention to Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation at the first moment. On the other side, the golden horned saint of the demonic bull mountain was stunned and felt a burning pain on his cheeks. He had just said that Jun Xiaoyao was already a dead man, but now this dead man was right in front of him. Even Supreme Long Can and the others were stunned for a moment. Because this scene was very illogical, they couldn't wrap their heads around it. The son of God of the Jun family, who had been rumored to be dead for 2 years, had unexpectedly reappeared in front of the world. I didn't expect that this son of God would still be remembered so much after disappearing for 2 years. Thank you for coming to attend my coming-of-age ceremony. But before that, let's get rid of some ants first. As soon as Jun Xiaoyao finished speaking, he clenched his fist, and the power of 100,000 divine elephants surged out. A terrifying force shook the void and caused the galaxy to tremble. It was as if there was a supreme primordial divine elephant that was suppressing the universe for thousands of kilometers with a majestic aura. At the same time, Jun Xiaoyao used the power of 100,000 divine elephants to activate the 6 paths of reincarnation fist. 6 reincarnation vortexes appeared, and the surrounding Tao patterns floated in the void with a will of reincarnation, as if they were going to pull all living things into the cycle of reincarnation. Now that Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation level had increased, the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation fist had naturally multiplied. Jun Xiaoyao also released 6 kinds of divine powers at the same time, using the 6 paths of reincarnation fist to control them. That kind of power was ridiculously strong. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that it could shatter the sky with one punch. Jun Xiaoyao stomped his foot and broke through the void. The terrifying fist directly bombarded the 3 saints of the demonic bull mountain, the cave of coiling silk, and the Snake Emperor Valley. Is the son of God of the Jun family crazy? How can he attack a saint? Someone saw this scene and exclaimed subconsciously, "No, the son of God of the Jun family's aura." Some people reacted. Jun Xiaoyao's aura was ridiculously strong. It was completely different from the cultivation level of the Tao God realm. Instead, a saint. Boom! Just as everyone reacted, Jun Xiaoyao's 6 paths of reincarnation fist had already smashed down. Rumble! The void cracked, and the space completely sank. Jun Xiaoyao's punch had smashed a hole in it. And what about the 3 saints? They had completely disappeared. Their physical bodies and primordial spirits were annihilated into nothingness under Jun Xiaoyao's powerful punch, dissipating into the spatial crack. The 3 saints did not even have the chance to scream before their heads were separated from their bodies. Dead silence. All the sound in the entire world seemed to have been sucked away, leaving only absolute silence. Supreme Long Can and the others were all slightly dazed, and they couldn't react at all, because they didn't think that Jun Xiaoyao would dare to attack the 3 saints. He also didn't think that Jun Xiaoyao would be able to kill the 3 saints in one move. This was simply illogical. Not only these quasi-supremes, but all the other invited guests all felt their scalps go numb and their bodies tremble. Many of the older generation powerhouses couldn't help but stand up and widen their eyes, as if they couldn't see clearly. Am I seeing things? The son of God of the Jun family killed the 3 saints in one punch? Am I seeing things? How is that possible? Those are 3 saints. After a short moment of dead silence, there was a rumbling noise. Saints were already considered powerhouses in the celestial realm. Some cultivators whose talent wasn't considered monstrous might have a lifetime goal of becoming a saint. Therefore, saints still had quite a status in the celestial realm. In first-rate forces, they were the mainstays of the elders. But now what did they see? Jun Xiaoyao, who belonged to the younger generation, had actually killed 3 saints in one punch. This was simply shocking. Most importantly, Jun Xiaoyao was only 18 years old, an 18-year-old saint. And Jun Xiaoyao could even kill a saint of the same level in 1 second. This strength, this talent, was unparalleled throughout history, and it made people's hearts tremble. If this news were to spread, the entire Huangtian mystic realm would be shaken. Jun Xiaoyao had already broken the record of being the youngest saint. He was the youngest saint powerhouse since ancient times. This record alone was enough to make Jun Xiaoyao's name go down in history for hundreds of millions of years. In the future, all the talented cultivators who broke through to the saint level would be compared with Jun Xiaoyao. Not to mention the various forces were shocked. Even Jun Zhantian and the other elders of the Jun family were a little stunned. They knew that not only was Jun Xiaoyao not dead, but he might also have some opportunities. But this opportunity was so great that even Jun Zhantian's heart couldn't bear it. As for Jun Linglong, Jun Ing-er, Nalan Ruashi, and the others, while they were shocked, they were also crazily admiring him. Jun Xiaoyao was an eternal god in their hearts. The son of God of the Jun family has returned. He is unparalleled in the world, and no one can defeat him. If the son of God of the Jun family steps on the Emperor's Road, he might be able to fight through the entire Emperor's Road. The other kings of the Emperor's Road won't be a match for the son of God of the Jun family. All the cultivators present exclaimed in shock, and their eyes revealed heartfelt admiration. Looking at the shocked uproar and admiration from all directions, Jun Xiaoyao's face was as calm as water. Killing 3 ordinary saints in an instant was not a big deal to the current him. Jun Xiaoyao didn't think that there was anything to be excited about. However, at this moment, in the sky above, there was a faint rumbling sound. Seeing this scene, Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows slightly and said, "Oh, it's finally here?" Don't forget, Jun Xiaoyao had not yet gone through the saint's tribulation. Now that the aura of the bronze immortal palace had dissipated, the saint's tribulation was finally about to fall. Sensing this scene, the cultivators present were stunned at first. Then, as if they had thought of something, their eyes were filled with indescribable shock again. Don't tell me that the son of God of the Jun family hasn't gone through the saint's tribulation? Leisurely literature, let the soul travel. Chapter 496. Those who could truly be called saints were only those who had passed the saint tribulation. The saint tribulation was a major tribulation, but if one passed it, it would be extremely beneficial to the cultivator, and their strength would increase greatly. Everyone thought that Jun Xiaoyao had already passed the saint tribulation. However, at this moment, they felt the rumbling of thunder in the sky. There was no doubt that it was the fluctuation of the saint tribulation. The son of God of the Jun family hasn't even passed the saint tribulation, but he can kill a saint in an instant. This is King ridiculous. Many people were speechless, and their expressions were dumbfounded. It was said that comparisons were odious, and Jun Xiaoyao's performance made all the cultivators present feel like they were useless. Even those true saints were terrified. Jun Xiaoyao hadn't even passed the saint tribulation yet, and he was already so powerful. If he passed it, everyone felt their scalps go numb at the thought of this possibility. If that was the case, Jun Xiaoyao's title wouldn't just be the youngest saint in history. He would also be the strongest saint since ancient times. How is this possible? Even Supreme Long Can and the others had a look of disbelief in their eyes. He had been many years old when he became a saint. He had been very careful during the saint tribulation that time, and he had almost died under the 7-colored saint tribulation. It would be great if this kid could die in the saint tribulation. Supreme Long Can thought to himself. Jun Xiaoyao's talent and potential were simply shocking. Such a monster, even if he was only given a few decades or 100 years, will be enough to grow into a terrifying giant. Supreme Longcan's eyes were already filled with killing intent. He knew that Jun Xiaoyao was a hidden danger, and he absolutely couldn't be allowed to grow. Dying in the Saint Tribulation was the best outcome. Supreme Longcan retreated slightly to avoid being involved in the Heavenly Tribulation. The Saint Tribulation couldn't be passed by relying on other external forces. If someone interfered, the power of the Heavenly Tribulation would increase on its own. Supreme Longcan and the others naturally didn't want to be involved and take the blow for Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao was not particularly concerned about the Sage Tribulation. After all, when he was in the Tao God realm, he had already used his physical body to resist the Rainbow Ascension Tribulation. Rumble. Thunder rumbled in the sky. Seven-colored lightning gathered and turned into a destructive pillar of lightning that poured down in torrents. This is the seven-colored. No, the nine-colored Holy Ascension Tribulation. Some cultivators widened their eyes. People with different talents would face different Sage Tribulations. Generally speaking, it was a seven-colored Saint Tribulation. Some cultivators with weaker talent might only have a five-colored tribulation to become a saint. However, some extremely talented geniuses might trigger the legendary nine-colored Sanctification Tribulation. The nine-colored Lightning Tribulation was several times more terrifying than the seven-colored Lightning Tribulation. I didn't expect that the Son of God of the Jun family would trigger the nine-colored Divine Tribulation. It would be abnormal if the Jun family Son of God didn't trigger the nine-colored Lightning Tribulation. Everyone had already witnessed how monstrous Jun Xiaoyao was. No matter how monstrous Jun Xiaoyao was, they would not be surprised. However, even with the strength of the Son of God of the Jun family, he would have to shed a layer of skin if he wanted to survive the nine-colored Divine Tribulation, some elders of the major forces speculated. Naturally, they did not think that Jun Xiaoyao would not be able to survive the Divine Tribulation. He might just be a little bit embarrassed. However, just as these elders finished speculating, the next scene that appeared made them petrified and dumbfounded. Jun Xiaoyao stood with his hands behind his back. He did not move at all. He just bathed in the nine-colored Lightning Tribulation. The nine-colored Lightning Tribulation bombarded Jun Xiaoyao. The nine-colored lightning burst out, but it could not cause any damage to Jun Xiaoyao's physical body. Jun Xiaoyao's sacred body of the ancients, Daoyuo immortal body, divine qi, and the myriad qi hammered his body. He already had the physique of an emperor. With such a perfect physique, even the terrifying nine-colored Lightning Tribulation would not be able to leave a mark on it. Even a wisp of this level of Lightning Tribulation was enough to blast a sage-to-be into pieces. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, felt nothing but numbness all over him. He even felt a little comfortable. Everyone who saw this scene was dumbfounded. Ordinary cultivators who went through the Divine Tribulation were all trembling with fear, as if they were treading on thin ice. All kinds of elixirs of immortality, sacred pills, and protective divine weapons were prepared in advance. It was as if they had gone to the underworld. However, Jun Xiaoyao did not prepare anything. He did not even move a finger. He just bathed in the Heavenly Tribulation with a calm expression. Boring. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. He had overestimated the horror of the Divine Tribulation. The Lightning Tribulation of this level would not even have the effect of tempering his physical body. Jun Xiaoyao threw out a punch casually. The punch went against the sky, and the tribulation clouds were scattered. The nine-colored Lightning Tribulation was directly destroyed. Everyone who witnessed this scene swallowed hard. This way of going through the tribulation was really a lot of it. However, right at this moment, the tribulation clouds that had been scattered gathered once again. However, the faint fluctuations that were emitted were more than 10 times stronger than the previous nine-colored Lightning Tribulation. How could this be? The Son of God of the Jun family has not gone through the Divine Tribulation yet. The fluctuations of the Lightning Tribulation this time are too dangerous. Why do I feel that even a supreme saint cannot go through it? Many guests took a deep breath. It was like a wave after a wave. They had never seen a divine tribulation that required two divine tribulations. Jun Xiaoyao was the least surprised. In fact, it was within his expectations. As expected, I have walked my own path and created my own path. God will not let me go so easily. Jun Xiaoyao smiled casually. This tribulation was not only a divine tribulation, but also a tribulation that targeted his own path. Rumble. Lightning flashed in the sky again. However, the lightning was no longer nine-colored. Instead, it was like chaos, colorful and mixed. Could that be the chaotic heavenly thunder? The old Taoist of the Daoji heavenly sect could not help but exclaim. The chaotic heavenly thunder was one of the most terrifying forces in the world. It was rumored that it was the first thunder in the chaos. Although the chaotic heavenly thunder in front of them could not be the most primitive chaotic heavenly thunder, its power was far stronger than the nine-colored lightning tribulation. There was a qualitative difference between the two. Just as everyone was shocked, an even more terrifying scene appeared. Within the tribulation clouds, blurry figures could be vaguely seen. Each figure exuded an ancient aura as if they had been fished out of the river of time and reappeared in the world. Could that be the supreme tribulation? At this moment, everyone present felt as if they had been struck by lightning. Their bodies stiffened, and their eyes were filled with shock. Chapter 497. When a quasi-supreme broke through to the supreme stage, there would be a so-called supreme tribulation. This was the same concept as transcending the sage tribulation from a quasi-saint to a saint. However, the power of the two types of lightning tribulations was worlds apart. When transcending the supreme tribulation, it was rumored that the shadows of ancient powerhouses would appear and attack with a lightning tribulation. That level of difficulty was countless times higher than the sage tribulation. But now what did they see? Jun Xiaoyao was only at the saint stage, but the tribulation he was transcending was comparable to the supreme tribulation. Although the blurry figures that appeared couldn't be as powerful as the real supreme tribulation, they were definitely ancient talents. Perhaps they were young great emperors, young ancient emperors, immortal holy spirits, and so on. In other words, if Jun Xiaoyao wanted to transcend this tribulation, he had to fight the young great emperors and defeat them. This was something that was almost impossible. Even the descendants of the great emperors couldn't be compared to the young great emperors. How is that possible? Even if the Jun family son of God is talented, it's impossible for him to attract the supreme tribulation in advance. Many cultivators were puzzled. Naturally, they didn't know that Jun Xiaoyao had walked his own path. It was because of this that he was targeted by the heavenly tribulation. Although the Jun family was also surprised that Jun Xiaoyao had attracted the supreme tribulation, their expressions were still calm. Not to mention whether Jun Xiaoyao could successfully transcend it in the end. Even if he couldn't transcend it, the Jun family had the ability to save Jun Xiaoyao from the supreme tribulation, although they had to pay a price. As for Supreme Long Can and the others, they were relieved. They wore cold grins on their faces. A heavenly tribulation of this level was definitely not something that a saint could easily transcend. Those ancient figures all had backgrounds. All of them were terrifying existences that had shocked the ancient times. Jun Xiaoyao faced them, and with the attack of the chaotic heavenly lightning, it was too difficult for him to transcend it. Jun Xiaoyao's expression didn't change from beginning to end. Not bad. This is more interesting. Otherwise, wouldn't it be too boring? Jun Xiaoyao murmured in his heart. Step by step, he ascended into the sky. Not only did he not evade, he even welcomed the heavenly tribulation. Rumble. As if provoked, the chaos heavenly lightning surged and turned into rays of lightning. They locked onto Jun Xiaoyao and slammed down. In the face of a heavenly tribulation of this level, Jun Xiaoyao also punched out. A vast fist light tore through the sky and shattered a bolt of chaos heavenly thunder with a single punch. However, even more chaotic heavenly lightning struck Jun Xiaoyao. Lord Son of God, Young Master, Jun Linglong, Jun Inger, Bai Yuer, Wang Chuan, and the others couldn't help but change their expressions. That was the legendary chaotic heavenly lightning, which could kill an ordinary saint with just one strike. However, to everyone's surprise, the primal chaos heavenly lightning was still unable to cause any effective harm to Jun Xiaoyao. Before, the nine-colored lightning tribulation had made Jun Xiaoyao feel numb. However, the primal chaos heavenly lightning gave Jun Xiaoyao a slight tingling and numbing sensation. What kind of freakish physical body is this? Could it be that the son of God of the Jun family will become an emperor in the future? Jun Xiaoyao's move was once again beyond everyone's expectations. Even the physical body of the son of the emperor of the ancients couldn't be compared to Jun Xiaoyao's. However, the test was still not over. The real danger was the shadows of the ancients. Boom! A blurry figure made a move. As he raised his hand, thousands of primal chaos heavenly lightning entwined around him and turned into a finger. He pointed it at Jun Xiaoyao. Could that ancient hero's shadow be the Thunder Emperor? Someone was startled. This move was quite similar to the Thunder Emperor's great magic. On the other side, an ancient hero rode a golden divine chariot. Like an ancient god of war, he raised a long spear and pierced it at Jun Xiaoyao. There was also a blurry figure who seemed to be a goddess from a certain era. Her jade-like hand pushed the void 30,000 miles away. All in all, every ancient hero that appeared in the heavenly tribulation had a great background. If any of them were placed on the current Emperor Road, they would be the absolute king of the Emperor Road. If Jun Xiaoyao stepped on the Emperor Road, he would probably be like these people and dominate the Emperor Road. However, the problem now was that Jun Xiaoyao was not fighting with a single person. Instead, a group of ancient heroes was besieging him. Seeing this group of ancient heroes attacking, Jun Xiaoyao's expression was calm. He had always had the ambition to dominate the ancient era. Now he could test it out. Jun Xiaoyao pointed out a finger and used the Thunder Emperor's finger. He fought with the ancient hero who seemed to be the Thunder Emperor and destroyed his attack. Then, riding a golden divine chariot, the figure like a god of war held a golden long spear and pierced toward Jun Xiaoyao. When the spear blasted out, even the void was pierced. Jun Xiaoyao manifested the heavenly god spear and collided with the golden long spear, destroying it. The supreme goddess Shadow charged over. Her jade-like hands formed a seal like a butterfly. It was as if a corner of the sky had collapsed, pressing toward Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao formed the man-ruler seal with one hand and also struck out horizontally. The current him had the power to turn something rotten into something miraculous no matter what method he used. Not to mention, the man-ruler seal, combatant formula, and other divine powers were not low in grade. In Jun Xiaoyao's hands, they were even more powerful. He pressed down with the seal. The supreme goddess Shadow was so shaken that ripples appeared, as if she would disappear at any time. The figure riding a golden divine chariot charged over again. Jun Xiaoyao formed 6 fist seals and punched out. The void rippled and then shattered like a piece of paper. The figure riding a golden divine chariot was completely torn apart, shattering into countless light spots. The ancient hero who controlled lightning charged over again. Chaotic heavenly lightning gathered in the sky, forming a lightning spear that pierced toward Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao also countered with the Thunder Emperor's divine powers, using the 9 tribulations demon-slaying thunder. Even the chaotic heavenly lightning was absorbed by Jun Xiaoyao and turned into his own. Boom! Jun Xiaoyao threw the 9 tribulations demon-slaying thunder, and the sky exploded with terrifying lightning. The figure of the ancient hero also turned into specks of light in the lightning. Then, the primitive Emperor Dao sword shot out from between Jun Xiaoyao's eyebrows, shattering the supreme goddess Shadow once again. Aside from that, there were other ancient heroes charging at Jun Xiaoyao. The 7-colored holy dragon armor appeared on Jun Xiaoyao's body, protecting him. At the same time, Jun Xiaoyao activated the divine elephant overpowering force. The power of 100,000 divine elephant particles burst out at the same time, shaking the heavens. A terrifying primordial divine elephant true body appeared. Its four legs were like pillars that supported the heavens, and its body was filled with stars. Divine elephant sky, crumbling tackle. Jun Xiaoyao pushed the power of his physical body to the extreme, shattering the sky and the clouds of calamity, causing spatial cracks to appear. This scene caused everyone to be incomparably shocked. Jun Xiaoyao was simply too overbearing. Even when he was facing off against those ancient heroes, he still seemed to be able to hold his own against tens of thousands of enemies. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao swept in all directions. Every ancient hero couldn't withstand a few attacks from Jun Xiaoyao, and they were all shattered into countless light spots. The world suddenly became clear, and only Jun Xiaoyao was left. His white robe fluttered, and he stood alone in the clouds. He stood with his hands behind his back and said indifferently, "Don't ask what the peak is. Looking down at the sky is not high. How many ancient and modern heroes are nothing in my eyes?" Chapter 498. Jun Xiaoyao's voice was as calm as water, but the domineering aura in his words seemed to have transcended the ages. In Jun Xiaoyao's eyes, there were countless heroes in the past and present. He alone was enough to suppress the ages and look down on countless heroes from ancient times to modern times. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao's invincible figure was deeply imprinted in everyone's hearts. What was invincible? This was invincibility. Jun Xiaoyao should be like his son. In this life, the heavens are on his side, a sacred leader of the celestial demon cult side. It's said that in the era of great battles, geniuses rise like stars. However, the son of God of the Jun family is the only blazing sun in the ages, making the endless stars pale in comparison. An elder of the Ji family also sighed. Although the Ji family had Ji Qingyi, Ji Changkong, and other peerless geniuses, there was still a huge gap between them and Jun Xiaoyao. All the cultivators participating in the coming-of-age ceremony were amazed by Jun Xiaoyao's performance at this moment. Jun Zhantian and the other elders of the Jun family were all grinning from ear to ear, feeling both joy and pride in their hearts. Jun Xiaoyao was the most outstanding pride of the Jun family. On the contrary, the four quasi-supremes of the Archean royalty all had ugly expressions on their faces at this moment. Long Can's eyes were as gloomy as water. Jun Xiaoyao's strength and talent were so monstrous that it made him, a quasi-supremacy, tremble in fear. Jun Xiaoyao was only 18 years old. At 18 years old, he had passed the Sage Tribulation, which was comparable to the Supremacy Tribulation, in such a monstrous way and became the youngest sage in history. In a few years, wouldn't he catch up to him, a quasi-supremacy? Jun Xiaoyao must die. This thought flashed through Long Can's mind. If Jun Xiaoyao didn't die and was allowed to walk the Emperor's road and grow up, it would be the end of the Archean royalty in the future. Not to mention a Zulong, the rest of the Archean royalty would be threatened by Jun Xiaoyao. One had to admit that Long Can's premonition was not bad. Previously, when Gu Chanzi of the Celestial Cicada clan was about to fall, he had also divined a corner of the future. If Jun Xiaoyao did not die, he would usher in the dark age of the Archean royalty. The eyes of Supreme Long Can flickered with determination upon having this thought. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao stood alone in the clouds like an immortal descending into the world. Flowers of the great Tao bloomed around him. Flowers rained down from the heavens, and golden lotuses sprouted from the earth. What a terrifying scene. Even if a saint passes through a saint's tribulation, there wouldn't be such a shocking scene. Some of the cultivators exclaimed. Surrounded by Tao flowers, Jun Xiaoyao exuded a supreme aura like the descendant of an immortal emperor, a true immortal descending to the mortal world. With a thought, the flower blooms, the sovereign descends upon the world. Only I, Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao flicked his sleeves. His tone was indifferent, but it contained an extraordinary aura of invincibility and dominance. Seeing this, Supreme Long Can's eyes surged with murderous intent. He could no longer turn a blind eye. If Jun Xiaoyao was allowed to live, It would be a huge disaster for Zulong and the entire Archean royalty. Die. Supreme Long didn't say anything else. He directly pointed at Jun Xiaoyao with lightning speed. This scene was too sudden, causing everyone to be unable to recover from their shock. Almost at the same time, the three quasi-supremes of Wanhuang's Spirit Mountain, Qilin Ancient Cave, and Ancient Crocodile Lake also attacked Jun Xiaoyao at the same time. They all had a tacit understanding in their hearts that they couldn't let Jun Xiaoyao live. Jun Xiaoyao was more important to the Jun family than 100 reincarnation demons' sex treasure vaults. If they could kill Jun Xiaoyao, it would undoubtedly end the Jun family's 10,000 years of fortune. The Jun family might even have a shortage of powerhouses and never recover from this setback. It had to be said that no one could have predicted this scene. It was too sudden. Killing the Jun family's son of God in front of the Jun family's mountain gate was probably something that even a lunatic wouldn't have thought of. However, Supreme Long Can and the other three had done just that. The four quasi-supremes suddenly attacked. In addition, they weren't too far away from Jun Xiaoyao. Therefore, the four's joint attack almost instantly swept in front of Jun Xiaoyao. Even Jun Xiaoyao was slightly stunned for a moment. He didn't expect these four to be so daring. However, Jun Xiaoyao didn't panic at all, not to mention that he was now in the Jun family. Even if he wasn't in the Jun family, it was impossible for these four quasi-supremes to kill him. Now, Jun Xiaoyao had a group of big shots behind him. However, the space in front of Jun Xiaoyao shattered right away at that very moment of crisis. A woman dressed in a gray robe with fluttering sleeves appeared right away. Her black hair fluttered in the wind, covering most of her fairy-like face. Even the small half of her face that was exposed was still as fair as snow. She was breathtakingly beautiful as a dream. It was Jun Xiaoyao's guardian, Audiobook. Others might not have expected Jun Xiaoyao to be surrounded by quasi-supremes. However, Audiobook had been secretly guarding Jun Xiaoyao from the moment he appeared. The attention of others might be distracted, but all of Audiobook's attention had always been on Jun Xiaoyao. Therefore, when the four quasi-supremes attacked, Audiobook immediately sensed it and stepped forward bravely. Audiobook activated his polychoria, and the light in his eyes was shocking. He directly blocked the attacks of the four quasi-supremes by himself. However, Audiobook himself was only a quasi-supreme being. The collision with four experts of the same level caused Aju's delicate body to tremble. She coughed out a mouthful of fresh blood as her entire body flew backwards. Audiobook. Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward and caught Audiobook. He did not expect Audiobook to block the attacks for him first. "Young master, Audiobook is fine," Audiobook said, but blood flowed from the corner of his mouth again. "Don't say any more." Jun Xiaoyao held Audiobook's slender waist with one hand and gently wiped the blood from Audiobook's mouth with the other. "Young master," Audiobook was stunned. Her heart had been silent for many years. Now, her only wish was to protect Jun Xiaoyao and let him grow up safely. However, at this moment, Jun Xiaoyao was treating her with a kind of gentleness. This made Audiobook feel that the young man who asked her to protect was now taking care of her. "How dare they injure you? They must die." Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were cold. As his protector, Audiobook had always been silently protecting him. Now that she was injured, Jun Xiaoyao was naturally furious. Seeing that their surprise attack had been blocked, a trace of hatred flashed through the eyes of Long Can and the others. Without another word, they tore open the void and tried to escape. Since their surprise attack had failed to kill Jun Xiaoyao, they had completely lost the chance to kill Jun Xiaoyao. Just as Jun Xiaoyao was about to summon the Bronze Immortal Palace, an old and cold voice rang out from the depths of the Jun family ancestral land. "How dare you act so presumptuously in my Jun family? Are you really that naive?" As soon as the voice fell, a terrifying palm intertwined with Tao laws came crashing down from the sky like a star. In the face of this terrifying wave, even the quasi-supremes were as weak as ants. "Is the Jun family trying to start an immortal war?" Long Can shouted angrily. His magic power burst out, trying to shake off the palm. However, he found that he was like a monkey in Buddha's palm. He couldn't escape it all. The same words again. Do you Zulong really think that the Jun family is afraid? The void twisted, and two gray-robed figures appeared. They were the Jun family's 18th ancestor and the Jun family's 16th ancestor. Oh my God, the two great ancestors of a Jun family have shown their true selves. All the guests present widened their eyes. Previously, even at Jun Xiaoyao's 10-years-old banquet, the 18th ancestor only swung his sword 3 times and didn't show himself. Now, he and the 16th ancestor had shown up together. What did this mean? Not only were the 4 quasi-supremes going to die, but the Jun family was also going to demand an explanation from the 4 forces of the Archean royalty. Everyone took a deep breath, their scalps tingling. The world was finally going to change. Chapter 499. When they saw the 18th ancestor and the 16th ancestor, Long Can and the others were shocked. Generally speaking, the patriarchs of immortal forces would not show up easily. Once they showed up, it meant that something big was about to happen. Let's go. Now, Lanka did not think about anything else. He just wanted to escape. He originally thought that the Jun family would be a little more cautious and not go too far with the appearance of the Archean royalty's prospective supremes. Now, it seemed that Long Can had been too optimistic. The Jun family has been quiet for too long, causing you to have an illusion. Do you think that anyone can step on the Jun family? The 16th ancestor said coldly. He looked like a 10-year-old child, but his eyes were full of vicissitudes of life. His terrifying aura seemed to be able to crush the 9 heavens and the galaxy. He calmly pointed out a finger, crushing towards Long Can and the others. Stop. At this time, in the distant Hong province, in the Zulong land, a terrifying aura arose as well. A dragon claw that seemed to be able to tear through the universe, the sun, and the moon broke through billions of layers of the void and descended in front of the Jun family's mountain gate, trying to save Long Can and the others. Long Han, you old man, how dare you stop me? The 16th ancestor snorted coldly and formed the sun and moon seal with one hand. In an instant, it was as if a sun and a moon accompanied the 16th ancestor's palm and struck out, directly shaking the space into nothingness. Then, the 16th ancestor's attack did not slow down and directly landed on Long Can and the others. Splat! Long Can was almost unable to resist and was directly blown into a cloud of blood mist. His primordial spirit was completely destroyed. As for the Zillion Cave Lord of the ancient Qilin Cave and the other 2 prospective supremes, they were also killed by the 18th ancestor with the immortal Slayer sword art. Splash! Droplets of blood fell from the sky. It was the blood of the prospective supremes. For prospective supremes were almost instantly killed by the 2 Jun family's patriarchs. Dead silence was a dead silence that made people feel as if they had fallen into an ice cave. No one expected the Jun family to be so overbearing. There was no room for negotiation or reconciliation. The quasi-supremes of the 4 Archean royalty were killed just like that. If it had been any other immortal forces, they wouldn't have dared to kill them directly if Archean royalty quasi-supremes came to provoke them. This was because if he offended them, he would offend 4 undying powers. Only the Jun family would have such courage. The Jun family has gone too far. In Zulong's ancestral land, a strong cultivator was roaring furiously. His fury was burning the 9 heavens' imperial court, as if the heavens were about to collapse. However, on the Jun family's side, the 18th ancestor and the 16th ancestor stood in the void with their hands behind their backs. Their eyes were as indifferent as the abyss. Today, the lair of Zulong, the 1,000 Phoenix Spirit Mountain, the ancient Qilin Cave, and the ancient Crocodile Lake have provoked the Jun family. If they do not come to apologize and kowtow to us, the Jun family will raise their weapons and demand payment. As soon as 16th ancestor finished speaking, the world fell into a dead silence. Everyone opened their mouths wide in shock, but they were unable to make a sound. Not only did the Jun family not care that they had killed 4 quasi-supremes. In fact, they even wanted Zulong and the other Archean royalty to come to the Jun family to apologize. This was no longer tyrannical. It was blatant bullying. The June family wants to bully you. What do you do about it? At this moment, all the forces took a deep breath. They felt that the world was about to change. No matter what, Zulong and the other four forces were still immortal forces. How could they be bullied to this extent? Sure enough, not long after 16th Ancestor's words, over in Hong Province, the aura of heaven and earth was chaotic and the universe was shaken. In Zulong's ancestral land, terrifying auras were awakened one after another. Each aura had a terrifying momentum that could suppress the sun, the moon, and the universe. Even the weakest among them were true supremes. An old man with dragon horns on his head had eyes that were like the sun and the moon, carrying a terrifying murderous intent. He was the powerhouse who had just attacked, Long Han, a terrifying existence whose strength had reached the level of a great heavenly lord. June family, do you really think that you are invincible in the Huangtian mystic realm? In that case, I, Zulong, will teach you a lesson today. Battle Dragon Flag, rise. As great ancestor Long Han's words fell, a dragon flag with a terrifying murderous intent rose from Zulong. The flag fluttered in the wind, stained with dark mottled blood. This was Zulong's battle dragon flag. Once it was raised, it represented the beginning of the immortal war. When they saw the lair of Zulong raising the battle dragon flag, all the immortal forces in the Huangtian mystic realm, including the ancient ancestors who had just woken up from their slumber and the current leaders, looked at the lair of Zulong with shock in their eyes. Zulong can't hold back anymore. He is going to start the immortal war. Indeed, if he doesn't start the immortal war and let the June family son of God grow up and let the June family obtain the treasury of the demon sect of Samsara, the Archean royalty will be even more miserable. Many ancient great figures were awakened by the murderous intent. The entire Huangtian mystic realm hadn't had an immortal war for a long time. The immortal war was enough to make the world sink. Of course, some great figures also thought that Zulong starting the immortal war at this time was indeed the best time. The June family son of God's talent was obvious to all. If Jun Xiaoyao was allowed to complete his imperial road, no one knew how powerful he would be. Even in this generation of the June family, a true great emperor might be born because of this. If that were to happen, it would definitely be the end of the Archean royalty. Zulong starting the immortal war at this time was something that he had no choice but to do. Zulong and the June family, these two fated enemies, are finally going to have a showdown. All the cultivators were shocked. At this time, there was also a terrifying aura rising from the Wanhuang Spirit Mountain. If the June family starts the immortal war, the Wanhuang Spirit Mountain will accompany them to the end. The ancestor of the Wanhuang Spirit Mountain also came out with a monstrous aura that burned thousands of miles in the sky and shouted coldly. That voice broke the eardrums of thousands of cultivators, and it was extremely terrifying and frightening. What? The Wanhuang Spirit Mountain wants to start the immortal war against the June family? Many people were stunned. They didn't expect the Wanhuang Spirit Mountain to start the immortal war at this time. However, what was even more shocking was yet to come. The ancestor of the ancient Qilin cave also came out, and a murderous aura burst into the sky. The June family is overbearing and arrogant, and they have angered the heavens and the people. If the immortal war starts today, the ancient Qilin cave will accept it. The ancestor of the ancient Qilin cave also said coldly. This was shocking. A third immortal force joined the war again. On the side of the ancient crocodile lake, in a vast swamp, a monstrous aura burst out, and terrifying giant crocodiles filled with an ancient aura were awakened from their tens of thousands of years of slumber. The plan to kill the June family begins now. The June family will be wiped out from the map of the Huangtian mystic realm. A supreme-level ancient crocodile, said in human language, with a monstrous, murderous aura. The fourth immortal force declared war on the June family. The world shook, and the universe was shocked. The atmosphere of the entire Huangtian mystic realm was ignited at this moment. The immortal war that had not started for many eras had completely broken out. Chapter 500. At this moment, the entire Huangtian mystic realm seemed to be shaking. The sky was trembling, and the earth was shaking. It was the ancient ancestors who had awakened from their slumber and were about to start the immortal war. A battle of this level could break through the land of infinity and make half the sky collapse. It was extremely terrifying. The most shocking and terrifying thing was this was not a battle between two immortal forces, but the Archean royalty from all sides against the June family. A battle of this level obviously affected a wider area than an ordinary immortal war. Many people suspected that even the June family, who had been standing in the mystic realm for countless eras, might not be able to withstand such a siege. However, what was even more shocking was yet to come. In the northern region of the Huangtian mystic realm, in the ancestral land of the Wang family, a middle-aged man stood with his hands behind his back. He looked in the direction of the June family with deep hatred in his eyes. It was the head of the Wang family, Wang Yuanba. Damn it, that little bastard of the June family is still alive. As expected, my son didn't die in the Bronze Immortal Palace. He was the one who killed him. Wang Yuanba's eyes were scarlet with terrifying murderous intent. In the beginning, when Wang Tung died, Wang Yuanba had great hatred for the June family. It was only after Jun Xiaoyao died that Wang Yuanba thought that Wang Tung might have died because of the Bronze Immortal Palace. But now, not only had Jun Xiaoyao reappeared, but his strength had also skyrocketed. He had become the youngest and most powerful saint in history. On the other hand, his son had died 2 years ago. No one in the mystic realm talked about the former young emperor of the Wang family. Anger, resentment, jealousy, and all kinds of emotions filled Wang Yuanba's heart. Why was his son buried in the Bronze Immortal Palace? But Jun Xiaoyao could escape safely, and his cultivation level skyrocketed. This was so unfair to his son. The Immortal War, Wang Yuanba's eyes were filled with unprecedented determination. Dong, dong, dong. Above the sky of the Wang family, a huge war drum appeared. Wang Yuanba held the drumstick. Every time he hit it, the sound of an army exploding burst out, shaking the sky. That's the Northern Reach's Wang clan's heaven-shaking war drum. According to the legends, when that drum is struck, the Wang clan will begin the deathless war. Heavens, is even the Wang family of the North going to participate in the war? The earth-shattering sound of the Wang family's war drums spread throughout the 300 states of the North region. All the cultivators from the various forces widened their eyes in shock. The fifth undying power had joined the battle. At virtually the same time, the fallen god palace also had activity. Horrifying black gas soared into the sky. White-boned devil mountains floated in the void. On top of each devil mountain, there was a white-bone throne. Seated on top were some of the supreme slayer ancestors of the fallen god palace. The fallen god palace and the Jun family are absolutely irreconcilable. Today, we will attack the Jun family. One of the fallen god palace's slaying ancestors said with murderous intent, which caused the sky and earth to change color, turning it into a blood-red sky. The fallen god palace's junior generation was virtually all harvested by Jun Xiaoyao. It would be strange if the fallen god palace could swallow this grievance. And now, many undying forces had started an undying war. It was the best time to join the war. Fallen god palace naturally would not miss it. The sixth undying power, the fallen god palace, had joined the war. In addition, there was another undying power that had also made a move. A golden throne rose into the sky. On it sat a figure wearing a golden crown and a holy robe of light. He was like a brilliant sun rising, shining on the 3,000 states of the Huangtian mystic realm, stealing everyone's attention. That is, the sacred cult leader of the sacred sect. Many people were so shocked that their scalps went numb. This was also an extremely horrifying powerhouse. He ruled the sacred sect and was the supreme cult leader that billions of believers bowed to. Reincarnation is the cycle of the world. There is no power that will last forever. Even a powerful force like the Jun family will have to withdraw from the stage of history one day. the sacred cult leader whispered. Hearing this, countless important figures from the surrounding forces were terrified. Was the sacred sect also joining the undying war? Boom, boom, boom. In the encampment of the sacred sect, figures rose into the sky like the sun. Those were the supreme guardians of the sacred sect. Among them, the weakest guardian had the strength of a quasi-supreme. As expected, the seventh undying power, the sacred sect, had joined the war. Whoosh! Endless uproar resounded throughout the mystic realm. Who would have thought that the June family would stir up 1,000 ripples? Originally, they were only going to start the undying war with Zulong. But now, 7 undying powers had declared war on the June family at the same time. This was an amazing scene that was rarely seen in hundreds of millions of years. Oh my God, 1 against 7. No matter how deep the June family's foundation is, or how strong they are, they can't stop it, right? 7 undying powers joining forces. This can only happen in an undying war that transcends the mystic realms, many ancient figures exclaimed. An undying war that transcends the mystic realms was even more vast. Usually, many undying powers would join forces and cross the endless galaxy to besiege another undying power in another mystic realm. However, in the Huangtian mystic realm, there had never been a situation where 7 undying powers joined forces against one party. At this moment, the entire Huangtian mystic realm was in an uproar. Countless people were trembling. They couldn't come into contact with a war of that level. They only felt that the heavenly might was rolling, as if the end of the world was coming. On the June family side, when they saw the 7 undying powers joining forces to declare war, the 18th ancestor and the 16th ancestor also had gloomy faces. They weren't afraid of anything. They were just angry that these powers were too presumptuous. Haha, it seems that the June family has kept a low profile for too long. Everyone thinks that the June family is easy to bully, the 16th ancestor sneered. If that's the case, then use this war to prove it. The June family will accompany you to the end. The 18th ancestor's eyes were cold. Even in the face of a siege by 7 undying powers, the June family was still fearless. Not only the 2 great ancestors, but June Zhantian and the other elders, as well as the other members of the June family, didn't have the slightest bit of anxiety or fear on their faces. Only a burning desire to fight. Even June Xiaoyao, who was one of the fuses that triggered the undying war, had a nonchalant indifference on his handsome face. To be honest, even he, the son of God of the June family, didn't know the true strength and foundation of the June family. Because the June family's waters were too deep, June Xiaoyao stood in the sky and looked around. He smiled faintly and said, "Thank you all for coming to my coming-of-age ceremony today. However, there may be a little disturbance coming. You can all leave for now. I will definitely host another banquet in the future to invite you all." June Xiaoyao's voice was faint, but what he said made all the guests present stunned. A little disturbance? 7 undying powers and the June family. That would be a war between 8 undying powers. In addition, many far ancient royal families and first-class forces would also be involved. The entire Huangtian mystic realm would be shaken. How could June Xiaoyao say that such a battle would be a little disturbance? Everyone was speechless. Speaking of which, the son of God of the June family is definitely one of the main reasons for the outbreak of the undying war. Some people secretly discussed through telepathy. That's right, the son of God of the June family is too talented. It made the Archean royalty and other forces uneasy. In addition, the treasure vault of the devil sect of reincarnation and other things are also one of the reasons. All in all kinds of grudges and karma were piled up together. In the end, it completely exploded and set off the undying war. All the guests left the territory of the June family, ready to witness the mighty, undying war that would be written into the history books. Chapter 501. The Huangtian mystic realm was shaking, and the world was shaking. All the guests who came to the banquet at the June family of the Emperor State had retreated from the June family's territory. Who would have thought that they would witness such an epic battle of immortality just by attending the coming of age ceremony of the Son of God of the June family? If these people want to die so badly, then the June family will kindly grant their wish. The 16th ancestor stood with his hands behind his back and said coldly, "That's right. We can wake up some of the old guys in the ancestral temple. They've been sleeping for long enough. If they don't get up and move, their bones will be stiff," the 18th ancestor said. "I'm thinking if we should pull back the one drifting in the outer space," the 16th ancestor said. "We'll see. If there are any accidents, he will come back," the 18th ancestor said. Then, the 18th ancestor looked at Jun Xiaoyao. A look of satisfaction flashed in his eyes, and he said, "Xiaoyao, you did well. You didn't let us down. The coming battle will be difficult to influence even with your cultivation as a saint. Go back to the ancestral land and rest. The family will take care of these small disturbances." The 18th ancestor's eyes were full of love. "That's right. Xiaoyao, you should go back to the ancestral temple," Jun Zhantian also said. However, Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. He knew that the 18th ancestor and the others wanted to protect him. But strictly speaking, this disturbance had a lot to do with him. How could Jun Xiaoyao stay out of it? Furthermore, Jun Xiaoyao was not without the power to change the situation of the battle. Great ancestor, grandfather, don't say any more. Strictly speaking, this battle also has something to do with Xiaoyao. I can't stay out of it, Jun Xiaoyao said sincerely. Your business is the business of the Jun family. Anyone who dares to attack you is a provocation to the Jun family. The 18th ancestor was very protective of his son. The 16th ancestor smiled when he heard that. That's right. The children of the Jun family should grow up in the flames of war. Don't worry, Goa train. No one can threaten your life. Just as the entire Jun family was about to start mobilizing, Zulong and the other Archean royalty took the lead. The enmity between them and the Jun family, which had accumulated over countless opportunities, exploded at this moment. Inside the Zulong, numerous flying dragons soared into the sky, their wings covering the sky as they roared towards the sky. There was a figure with a powerful aura sitting on each of the flying dragons. They were at least in the heavenly god realm. There were quite a few Tao divinity realm and quasi-saints. They were led by hundreds of sages, which stunned all the surrounding forces. Was this the foundation of the Archean royalty? Sages were the mainstays of a first-rate force. At the very least, they would have the position of an elder. But now, Zulong had mobilized an army led by a sage. This was absolutely horrifying. However, that wasn't the only thing that shocked people. The primal ancestors of Zulong also showed up. The one in the lead was Sovereign Longhan. He himself was a terrifyingly powerful great Empyrean. There were 4 others who were at the same level as him. As for the rest, there were more than 10 quasi-supremes, supremes, and lesser Empyreans. This lineup made people's souls tremble. Normally, even quasi-supremes were rarely seen. But now, they appeared in groups. Is this the power of the lair of Zulong? It's terrifying. Many big shots from different forces looked at Hangzhou in fear. How is this possible? Zulong's foundation is definitely more than this. But even just the power they're showing now is terrifying enough. Some ancient figures sighed. Over at Myriad Phoenix Spirit Mountain, there were phoenix cries. Hundreds of thousands of phoenix birds soared into the sky, carrying the powerful experts of Myriad Phoenix Spirit Mountain. Their wings stirred up a storm that scattered the clouds in the sky. The primal ancestors of Myriad Phoenix Spirit Mountain also came out of the mountain. Everywhere they passed, the void burned and began to collapse. Their aura suffocated many people in the surrounding area. Over at the ancient Qilin Cave, purple clouds filled the air. Many experts rode on Qilins, their auras powerful. The cave lords of the ancient Qilin Cave and the supreme ancient ancestor appeared as well. Purple energy spread for 30,000 miles, dyeing the entire sky with purple clouds. As for over at the ancient alligator lake, in the endless lake, numerous ferocious alligators appeared. Each of them was covered in dense scales and had scarlet eyes. The Archean royalty of this lineage didn't like to transform. They liked to use the most primitive power to tear apart the enemy's body and devour them into their stomachs. At this moment, if someone were to stand outside the ancient alligator lake and watch, they would be shocked to see countless alligators emerging from the lake. At a glance, it looked like the earth was moving. What was even more shocking was that some of the alligators were thousands of feet long. They were like black mountains that were moving. This was the primal ancestor of the ancient alligator lake. He had lived for countless years, and his aura was monstrous. Every time he moved, the earth would tremble. It could be said that aside from the other immortal forces, just the combination of the four Archean royalty was incomparably terrifying. They could easily take down an immortal family. This time, the June family is really in danger. In one of the immortal sects, an ancient existence whispered. This was the human immortal sect, an incomparably ancient sect with a deep heritage. It had stood in the immortal realm for countless years. However, even such an immortal sect was shocked when they felt the army of the Archean royalty. He pondered. The target of the four Archean royalty was the human immortal sect. Could they withstand it? On the other side, in the demonic immortal castle of the demonic immortal cult, there were also old antiques sighing. The Archean royalty is really terrifying. Moreover, this isn't their full strength. Can the June family withstand it? Another ancient existence of the demonic immortal cult said, "Should we intervene? Not for the time being. Although that last Shao Moshian has a good relationship with the son of God of the June family, this war involves too much. If we intervene now, it's hard to predict whether it will be a blessing or a curse." Because of Shao Moshian, the demonic immortal cult and the June family had a slight friendship, but that was all. The immortal war involved too many things. Moreover, 7 immortal forces were targeting the June family together. Even someone as strong as the demonic immortal cult didn't dare to casually intervene. If they intervened in the immortal war and the June family was destroyed, the demonic immortal cult would inevitably be punished. Not all the immortal forces were like the Jiang family, willing to help the June family unconditionally. In addition, the Ji family of the ancients, the Yi family of the ancients, and other forces were also watching from the sidelines. They didn't act rashly. Strictly speaking, some of the younger generations of these two families had some friction with Jun Xiaoyao. However, this kind of small grudge was nothing in the eyes of the big shots. Moreover, although the Ji family and the Yi family didn't have much of a friendship with the Jun family, they were at least ancient families of the human race. It was inappropriate to help the Archean royalty deal with the ancient families of the human race. As for the Wang family of the north, it was because Wang Yuan was too domineering. They had a grudge with the Jun family to begin with. It was even more impossible for the fallen god palace to be loyal to the human race. They were one of the origins of the demonic path. As for the holy cult, it was rumored that they weren't a native force of the Huangtian mystic realm. They were a powerful existence that came here to preach. Finally, they took root in the Huangtian mystic realm and established the holy cult. Therefore, these 3 immortal forces didn't have any psychological pressure to join forces with the Archean royalty. As far as they were concerned, the Jun family must be destroyed.